Someone turns to Mr. Aziz and asks how long he has been there. The guy replies that he can't sleep, so he decided to take a walk. And the guard cannot worry, because soon he will go inside, after which he agrees. And he also claims that the morning star is very bright today and the weather is fine. His interlocutor replies that it is, and that's why he likes to walk at such a time. He also remembers that there was a legend associated with Venus. When it is as bright as today, the incarnation of the goddess Ashtar will appear, and he will save the man who will become the greatest sultan. The knight then says that this is a made-up story. Aziz replies that he knows it is hard to believe, which is why she is considered a legend. However, he still awaits the incarnation of the goddess Ashtar, who has a beautiful soul. At this time, the girl is under the blanket in the middle of the room, after which she goes to the mirror. And looking at her face, she thinks whether it is really her, and also how it is possible. The young lady understands that obviously this world can be a dream, but when she pinches her cheek, she feels pain and realizes that she is not in a dream. At this time, someone else turns to the girl and says that he recognizes her courage since she entered his room alone. After which, the man puts the young lady's sword to her throat and asks who she is. The main character wonders when he managed to wake up and realizes that he is the second prince of the kingdom of Ashtar, the ruler of the capital, as well as Suleiman. The man claims that he immediately found it strange. After all, he slept much more soundly than usual, and he also wondered if the girl had slipped him a sleeping pill, after which he also asks why she is silent, and the girl understands that she does not know how to explain everything, and the fact that he woke up so suddenly was unexpected in itself. And the girl also thinks that it is strange to worry about such a thing in such a situation, but couldn't he cover himself with something, because she can't concentrate? The man comes closer and asks who brought the girl there. And also, was it really those annoying elders again? The young lady shakes her head and realizes that he is mistaken because they did not bring her. But she doesn't understand at all how she ended up in such a situation, after which the guy claims that it seems she decided to avoid responsibility for not knowing anything. It's a very serious crime to want you into his bedroom without permission, so it won't be a problem to take her head right now. The main character then wonders if she will really fall into eternal sleep there in the prime of her life. The girl suddenly fell into eternal sleep and started a new life, but she does not want to fall into eternal sleep again in vain. Well, then the man notices the bell on the girl's neck and says that this is a sign that she is the property of the Sultan. After which, he also asks if this thing is from his mother and not from the elders. And also, did the girl really come to spend the night with him? The main character is only embarrassed after this and thinks what he wants to say. And also, how is this possible? Because it makes no sense, after which she shakes her head. The prince claims that it looks like she is not going to open her mouth until the very end, and since she won't speak, he will have to take her to the torture chamber. The young lady then wonders if she misheard, and if she will be put in the electric chair like in the movies. Therefore, the girl understands that if she does not say at least a word, she will fall into eternal sleep. So she meows in despair, but then she immediately closes her mouth and realizes that she has changed her mind, and it would have been better to fall into eternal sleep. Well, the girl understands that she still doesn't want such an outcome, and they say that life is a series of unpredictable events. But it's hard to believe in such absurdity, because if she didn't say it, he wouldn't listen to her, and she was a simple girl who lived a boring life. A little while later, the cat jumps around the market, and someone screams where it came from. The lady realizes that she has entered a world she has never seen before, and has turned into a cat. At this time, one of the men screams that the cat ran there, and that they should chase it into the alley. After which, the cat runs into the deaf cat, and then turns to these people and meows as if telling them not to come near. One of the people then says, "What a nimble little thing this is," but the game of catch-up is over. The main character wonders if three huge people are really chasing a small cat, after which she meows furiously, as if telling them to feed her better, and she will strangle these petty idiots. But then the girl also realizes that cats don't have fingers. One of the men is touched by the cat. Then he turns to the leader and says that she is so small and cute, so he might as well let her go. But the other man replies that there is no point in that, and he wonders if he heard what the elder said, because the government is looking for cats. This cat has white fur and eyes of different colors, so it is so rare. The main character understands that this is her chance, and she needs to try to escape. She understands that there is a dead end behind her, but she can jump on a low wall, so it's good that there's a box there to push off from. The cat immediately heads to the box, then jumps on it and thinks that everything is so simple. The main character pushes off from this box and jumps onto the wall. At this time, she screams at the men what she is doing and lets them stop right now. But the cat jumps on the wall and thinks that these fools should not even dream, when the girl already grabs the edge of the wall. Then suddenly her paw slips and she starts to fall, and she also thinks that this can't be happening and she needs to run away. A little while later, the young lady is already beating her tail against the cage. One of the guards says how tiring it is, and also if it is normal that she is still angry. The other man replies that it doesn't matter, and that he should just ignore the cat. At this time, the main character thinks that these idiots should give her back her freedom, because she is not a stray cat, but actually a person. A little while ago, the girl realized that she could finally rest, without any worries. She was completely pleased to just lie without unnecessary thoughts. But then she suddenly realized that she couldn't waste her precious time like this, and it was unlikely to happen again soon. So she's going to watch all the movies she's been putting off. And one of them is that even in the harem, he always loved only one woman. The lady also thought that maybe she should grab some snacks before starting, but suddenly realized that her eyes were starting to darken, after which the girl felt a sharp pain in her heart. And unfortunately, these were the last memories from her homeworld. Suddenly, without warning, her life was cut short. Maru was her only family member, and the girl wonders who will take care of him if she falls into eternal sleep. A short time later, the young lady wakes up and realizes that she dozed off for a second, after which she also thinks how long she has been sitting in this cage. Lady understands that all she can hear around her is howling and other cats. They drowned out Maru's crying, whose voice rang in her head, and it seemed that after falling into eternal sleep, the girl found herself in some kind of fictitious story, and also received the body of a fragile kitten. Living on the street for the last 2 weeks was very difficult, and maybe this prison is a little safer. Well, then the girl remembers the words of the leader of the people that the ruler is looking for a cat, and therefore they cannot miss such a chance, and she understands that she needs to try. The girl doesn't know what it's all about, but her life will be better if she's the Sultan's cat. Therefore, she understands that she can take a risk and make the ruler her servant, and will also live in wealth forever and fulfill his dream. A little while later, the girl wakes up from a delicious smell. She immediately gets up from her seat and realizes that such a smell can only mean that there is cooked meat nearby. At this time, one of the guards says that the cat has come to life, after which he asks if she wants some meat. The girl immediately nods, as if to tell him to give her this meat faster. But the man then laughs and tells the cat not to even dream about it. After all, it's his meat. And if she wants meat so much, let her find it herself. The main character is shocked and wonders if he's really making fun of her, because she looks like a cat. But at that very moment, someone turns to the guy and asks what he is pretending to be doing. Their Evelyn has arrived. The guy then throws the meat down and says he was just playing with the cat, and the young lady looks at the meat. She thinks what kind of delicious thing this is, and how such a poor cat will need it, after which the girl realizes that she needs to reach a little more. But at that very moment, someone steps on this meat and also says that there is garbage scattered all over this place. The main character looks at this guy and thinks, what kind of trash is this, because this is her food. The man at this time reaches out to the cat and asks if she is the one who best fits the description. The girl then wonders what he's doing. Well, the guy claims that he can't believe that this piece of trash is the legendary cat. The young lady is just angry about this and thinks how dare he, and the guy claims that this is the only cat with different eyes. After which he says okay, and they take this thing and leave. The main character then thinks what he said, and then she is completely happy because she was chosen. A little while later, the cat is already heading in a carriage and thinks that it is good that she was released so quickly. Well, she also understands that no one has yet explained to her why she is needed, and what if it is connected with sacrifices. But a little while later, someone says that they are in place, and can also go, and the fabric in front of the cat opens. The lady in front of her tells the cute kitty not to be scared and to come to her. The main character, looking at this rich interior, wonders if she is sleeping. The girl also understands that she cannot believe that she has come to such a place. She also sees a diamond on the column and wonders if this is the same red diamond, and they say that this is the most expensive stone. The maid then tells the cat to wait, but she only jumps off and then heads towards the column. And she understands that the place is good, but she doesn't know when she might be kicked out, so it's better to prepare. And if she takes one, then she will not have to worry about anything for the rest of her life. And she also needs to find a dory to take home. It may be long, but the girl understands that she will not return to the street, after which she prepares to jump. And then everyone jumps on him, but not high enough, and he realizes that, unfortunately, she is too small. After which the cat starts crawling down, and the maid says how cute it is. At this time, someone else says what an interesting cat from the prophecy is, and finally they meet. One of the servants at this time turns to the mister and asks if he is sure that this is the same cat, because in his eyes it's just a dirty and vile animal. Well, the man then says no, and he's sure. After all, this is the incarnation of Ashtar that he was waiting for, and this is the guardian goddess that will protect their new sultan. The guy also apologizes for introducing himself so late, after which he claims that his name is Aziz, and he is the priest of this palace. The guy claims that he was waiting for the cat from the prophecy, or better yet, a foreigner. The guy also claims that they don't talk about things like that on the street, so he suggests going inside. And the main character wonders if this guy really knows that she is human and what is going on. A short time later, the man places the cat on a soft pillow and claims that there is a legend in their kingdom. After all, a long time ago, the country was plunged into a long drought, and all the springs dried up. The streets were filled with sadness from the endless epidemic, and when all the sounds of life had almost died down, then the goddess of water took pity on the inhabitants of the kingdom that protected and also used her power and saved the country. Everyone wanted her to stay with them, but this wish was not destined to come true. Before leaving, she promised one thing, and that was that when Venus would shine brightest, the incarnation of the goddess, with a beautiful soul, would come to them. This is the one who will save the greatest sultan, and the incarnation will appear in the form of a cat, which is why he asked to look. But it seems the cat doesn't really believe in it, after which the main character wonders if he himself would believe it. After all, it is strange that the messenger of the goddess is a cat, and shouldn't a person with a beautiful soul look different? After all, it could be a young, cheerful lady who looks like a saint. But the girl understands that in her past life, or in this one, this cannot be said about her. The girl thinks that a beautiful soul only concerns the main characters of fairy tales, but she can't even dream of such a thing because she's a person who thinks only about survival every day. Therefore, she understands that her life cannot become a fairy tale. The guy at this time touches the cat's forehead, and also claims that it seems he touched on too heavy a topic, and although he has divine eyes to find the right soul, but he can't read minds, so let the cat not cry. The main character wonders if the stranger is trying to calm her down. It was just like her first meeting with Maru. He immediately showered her with his warmth. So the girl thinks she likes it. Aziz says how touching it is, after which he claims that it seems she trusted him a little. The young lady is only embarrassed and thinks that she doesn't know, but she needs to stop. And anyway, the conversation wasn't about that. But at that very moment, the girl's stomach rumbles, and she thinks how shameful this is, and also why her stomach began to rumble right now. And of course, she was often hungry, but making such sounds was too much. Aziz claims that it was his mistake, because he had to fill her stomach first, after which the guy tells her to wait a minute. And a little while later, all the different dishes are brought to the table, and the man states that he hopes the dear cat will like it. Everything is prepared, especially for her, so let her eat her fill. And if he knew that the girl was so hungry, he would have fed her much earlier. The young lady understands that she does not believe in any nonsense about prophecies, but they treat her like this precisely because of this. The girl also thinks that she hasn't tried delicious things in such a calm environment for a long time, and she changed her mind, because instead of going back to the street and eating scraps, she would stay there in comfort. And it will also correspond to the cat from the prophecy. The man at this time says that there is a secret about the legend that few know. There is a way for a cat to become human again, so let her just listen to it. The main character then goes into shock and thinks that if there is such a possibility, then she should have said so earlier. The man then claims that it may not be possible to return to the previous measures, but it is possible to become a human, after which the young lady hits him with her paw. But the man tells her to calm down because he will tell everything after dinner. This method is at the experimental level, so why not try it? After which, he asks what she thinks, and the young lady seems to scream that this is not a choice between hot and cold water, because if she could become a person, she would even kiss his ugly face for this. The guy with a smile on his face says that he will take this as a positive answer, and then suggests going. The main character thinks where, and a little while later, she is already being bathed. One of the maids tells the cat to be patient for a little while, and the other asks if she really doesn't like it that much. The girl understands that she herself would not want to react this way, and understands that she could not trust Aziz. A little while later, the cat is already being dried, and the girl realizes that she didn't think that a bath could be so heavy. Again, she was put in the water without any explanation. But then the lady thinks that maybe this guy lied about her being able to become human. A little while later, Aziz says that the time has almost come, after which he pulls something out of his pocket. And he says that the cat should be patient for a second, and this collar is a special item that he made himself. Therefore, she will try to eat without taking it off until he tells her to. The main character thinks that they really hung a bell on her neck, and that it tastes lousy. The guy claims that he understands her thoughts, and although he may seem annoying, well, it's better to keep him to yourself. He's special. At this time, one of the servants turns to Mr. Aziz, and the guy asks if everything is ready, to which his interlocutor replies that the preparations are finished. Aziz picks up the cat and says that this is great, and now they will go because it is time to become a person. The main character wonders if he will keep his word, but when they head somewhere, the girl thinks what a strange place this is, and whether anyone lives there at all. Well, the girl also understands that she will not lose her chance, and a little while later she understands that they have come, after which she also thinks that she is ready for anything. But when the door to the room opens, the lady thinks why it is so gloomy there. Aziz says that it looks like the cat is worried because she hasn't been to this place. He also brings the lady to some guy, and the girl thinks who else it is. But Aziz says that it is nothing and she cannot worry. After all, this guy is still under the influence of sleeping pills, which is why the girl is shocked and thinks how this can be a trifle. The guy at this time extends it to the prince and says that in order to become a man, let her wake the prince with a kiss. The young lady then immediately jumps and scratches the walls screaming, as if asking what the hell he is doing. But the guy tells the cat to calm down, and also claims that it is true that the prophecy is a little strange, and she should have already felt the energy of the curse that fills this room. The young lady understands that if you think about it, then at first glance it seems just big and empty, but it is filled with gloom and dark shades, and this makes it a little unpleasant. The cat also thinks what kind of curse can cause such feelings, and Aziz at this time claims that this is the room of Suleiman and the second prince. He is the most important man in the country, and everyone believes that Suleiman will become the next sultan. So he understands that the cat feels that unfortunately, the prince is suffering from some kind of curse. They were unable to make progress in removing it, and therefore hope for the incarnation of the goddess Ashtar. And he is sure that it is a cat, after which the main character wonders if he is really asking a cat to kiss the prince. The man then claims that the choice is hers to believe or not. If the incarnation comes into contact with a person who is suitable for the place of the sultan, then it can become a person. After which, the guy suggests trying, because all that is needed is a kiss from the incarnation and the prince. But the lady wonders if he is really suggesting that she rely on some fairy tale. The guy then says that, okay, it's better for them to get to know each other better, so he'll leave them alone. Aziz claims that the prince will not wake up because he is under the effect of a sleeping pill. He will be outside, so let the cat not worry because no one will enter there. He also wishes the cat good luck and leaves. And the main character wonders why he abandoned her. After which, the lady also thinks that it doesn't matter how much she wants to become human, but is it possible to kiss a sleeping man, whom she sees for the first time? Although looking at his face, the girl thinks that it is possible. But then she thinks that she needs to come to her senses and finish everything quickly before he wakes up. And with such a face, you can put him on his knees. The girl also wonders if she really needs to just kiss him, but she realizes that she hasn't had that even in human form. However, she also understands that getting her normal battles back is more important, so the first kiss isn't that valuable. The cat also approaches the prince and thinks whether it is enough to close her eyes and touch, after which she is going to do so, but understands that she cannot. The main character thinks why, in a world with magic, it is necessary to kiss. Then the girl realizes that she needs to try to change the place, but still can't think of any. And after a while, she realizes that she is already at the limit, and she hasn't done anything yet and only wet the prince's face. The cat hasn't turned into a human yet either. But then the girl thinks that there is no point in hanging around there all night, so she might as well try and put her pride aside. After which, she finally kisses the prince and realizes that she really did it. The girl understands that it is so awkward to put something like that in the body of a cat. Well, if this does not work, then she will scratch Aziz. But at that very moment, the cat thinks what is happening, because her heart is bursting out of her chest. And she also feels so bad because she needs to call Aziz. Well, then she's just getting caught with the bed and the blanket, and also thinks that someone should help her. A little while later, the prince opens his eyes and thinks that he does not remember how he fell asleep. And also, when did he manage to get into the bedroom? The guy also understands that usually after sleep he feels so tired. But today, he feels better somehow. However, when the guy touches his face, he notices something wet. He also thinks that it was as if a dog was licking him, and where could the animal have come from? After which, he gets up from the bed and sees the girl near the mirror. He wonders if this is an invasion, and immediately grabs his sword. The guy wonders if this is a mercenary, but he understands that they must be cruel to achieve their goal. He doesn't feel any threat, and it looks more like the work of those stupid old men, because they're always screaming that the guy needs to create a harem. The guy realizes that these damn elders are constantly sending him women, and they interfere with his work, and it's so annoying that he will take advantage of this opportunity to ensure that this never happens again. And he drives her away by force, after which the guy presses the ball to the lady's throat and claims that he recognizes her courage since she entered his room alone. And also wonders who she is. A little while later, the girl is already meowing loudly, which surprises the prince. And the young lady thinks what to do in such a situation, because the only sound she could make was a cat sound. The prince understands that his head is already spinning from this, and he wonders why the girl is meowing, and whether she herself really doesn't understand anything. But if she is not guilty of anything, then what should he do at all? The main character at this time tries to make something besides meowing. Well, she can't do it, and the lady realizes that she can't speak human language. The man at this point puts his sword back into its sheath and says that it looks like she is not involved in this, but she still entered the royal bedroom without permission, so he has no choice and needs to hold her accountable. So let the lady answer his questions. The main character understands that she cannot answer, even if she wants to, and does not know how long she will be in this state. But at the same moment, the girl feels very bad and thinks what happened. After all, she has this pain in her chest again, and also no strength. The prince then asks in shock what is wrong with her, and let the girl wake up. He also screams if there is someone outside. But when he turns around, he sees some smoke and wonders if the girl has really disappeared. The guy lifts the fabric and thinks that he doesn't understand anything, and also what kind of woman it was. At this time, one of the servants shouts that suspicious smoke has come from the prince's room, and that they should check if there is a fire there or an attack. At this time, the main character runs out the door and thinks that no one noticed it. But the lady does not understand why she became human for such a short period of time. At this time, someone picks up the lady and says that this is where she is. The girl is surprised and meows. And Aziz says that it's lucky that the soldiers didn't notice anything. The young lady then bites the guy, and he thinks about what there is to be happy about, and also whether he wants to know what happened to her because of him. At this point, the guy says that it's so noisy there, and suggests leaving before anything happens. He also asks how the meeting with the prince went, and whether she turned into a human. The girl understands that this guy is not entirely right, because there was little time and everything did not go very well, but she transformed into a human. However, the girl realizes that she is not going to say anything to this freak, after which she shakes her head as if denying it. And the guy asks if this is really true, and it's strange because he thought that everything would work out. But one attempt is not judged, and they will try another time. Aziz uses his power and says that the lady must be very tired, so let her sleep. The girl understands that she wanted to ask about a lot of things, but she really wants to sleep, after which the guy thanks the cat. A little while later, they are already heading through the garden, and the girl understands that a lot happened yesterday, but today everything is quiet. Her status was, it was hard to wander around in the form of a cat. At this time, the guy says that he understands that the cat is sleepy, but let her be patient, because the meeting will be short and there is nothing to worry about. The girl thinks that if this is some high-ranking person of the palace, then he should look something like this, but she doesn't understand why he liked it. The guy at this point says that he thinks she'll like their kitty, and then says that it looks like they made her wait. Aziz says that this is the most powerful and bright person in the country, the great Harem Sultana. The woman then opens her eyes and says that they are a little late. Aziz at this time greets the queen, after which he introduces the cat from the prophecy and says that it seems the lady wanted to see her, so he brought it. The main character realizes that she didn't think she would meet such a person, and she looks so young. The woman then approaches the guy and asks if this cat is really the embodiment of the goddess. The woman claims that the color of her eyes and fur all correspond to the legend. She is small and cute like a white cloud. The main character thinks that everything is not as bad as she expected, and this woman has a beautiful face. The Queen of Cotton Wool claims in time that he will come soon and they will discuss everything later. But this guy might be angry that a woman was brought into his room, be it a cat or a rattlesnake. Laughing at the future sultan is a sin that deserves execution. But Aziz says that he cannot be intimidated by such things, and he knows the sultan too well. He also tells the queen that this cat understands everything, so let her be more reserved, even if she jokes. The woman then only laughs and says what a nice friend the guy has found. She also asks if it is possible to take her instead of her son, to which the servant replies that this is impossible because she was given by heaven specifically for him. The woman claims that it would be a pity to give such a cutie to this cruel man. The main character wonders if she is talking about her son, and her face reminds her of someone. At this time, someone else approaches them, and the woman says that he really knows how to scare because he came right away as soon as I started talking about him. At this time, the guy asks what they were discussing behind his back, and the main character wonders if it was really the son they were talking about. This is the guy. The lady with red hair greets her only son, who is so difficult to meet, and also offers him some tea. But the young man only wonders if she still doesn't understand that he has been given a very difficult task by the sultan, to which the woman replies that she cannot help with this, after which the guy claims that he doesn't expect anything because he is constantly busy with work, after which he also points to the cat and asks what kind of ball of wool it is. The young lady thinks that he should pretend not to notice, because she doesn't want to date him, and how ignorant it is to call such a cute creature a ball of fur. Well, the girl understands that he saw her in human form, so it turns out there is no need to worry. The cat looks at the prince, and he realizes that now she is looking at him and smiling suspiciously. He also claims that he has to ask a question before their tea party, after which he says that there was a commotion in the palace last night. The woman replies that she knows, and the chamberlain approached her with such a thoughtful face. After this, the prince says that a woman came into his bedroom, and the main character is completely shocked and thinks that she doesn't even know who it could have been. The guy then says that he thinks his mother should be aware, after which the woman smiles and asks if he is talking about a woman, and also to be interested if Suleiman wants her. He said that he brought her himself, her to his bedroom, which only made the guy angry so, and the lady with red hair apologizes and also claims that she had nothing to do with it. The guy says it's clear, and she won't say anything more. He also claims that it's rare to see a priest at their tea party, and she asks if he wants to say something, after which the woman says that it is true, and he has interesting news for the guy. After all, the creature he called a ball of fur would be officially accepted among them, so let him treat it with respect. Every heir must have a cat, and this one was very difficult to find because it is prophetic, so it will be very useful to him. The guy asks if he is not talking about this legend again, and he doesn't want to seem biased, but is it worth paying attention to such nonsense? But the priest tells the prince that it is not only about the content of the prophecy, because there have always been cats with the Sultan's, and if the prince keeps her with him, then this will become another support for his power. The guy claims that he can defend the right to the throne on his own, but then a number of people wonder if he feels better. The guy replies that it is true, and asks how he knows about it. Well, the man claims that the cat came to him for a while last night. The main character wonders if she gave him anything, except a kiss, and the priest says that the master should consider it cat magic. Therefore, he recommends that he keep it with him, because it will be useful in many ways, and he will definitely find it useful. The guy then says, okay, and since he says so, there is nothing to argue about, and he will take it her. The main character is surprised by this and wonders if he really said that he would take her away, hurry. But a little while later, she lies down and realizes that she has ended up with such disdain. It seemed to her that everything was going well, but instead of becoming his servant, Suleiman left her there for several days and did not even show his face. So the girl thinks how she can now become human, and if the body changed that night, then she needs to repeat the actions. But then the lady waives these thoughts and understands that this never happened, while she also understands that she needs to get closer to him to try again. After all, what if she remains human? But at that very moment, the main character of the game does not notice how someone is staring at her. And then she jumps up, screaming for the girl not to scare her. The lady only smiles and claims that she was watching the cat playing and couldn't do anything about it. She also claims that she can't believe that the cat was put in such a depressing place, and although she sees her every day, it's more like a dream. The young lady realizes that this girl's name is Arin. A little while ago, she claimed that her older brother was so busy, and she couldn't meet him because there were no other people her age there. Therefore, the cat is like a friend to her and let her take care of her. The girl understands that the maid told her this on their first meeting. She is younger than her, so the cat thinks that she will consider her her little sister. Erin takes care of her, and she shines so much when she sees a cat. The main character thinks that they have similar characters, so she's a little worried about her. Irene says at this time that she knew that the kitties had nothing to do, so she grabs something. These are toys that will belong to her. The main character will look at this and understand that she is an adult inside the cat. And also bringing such trinkets is so much fun. A little while later, the girl is already asleep. But then the prince comes into the room and, feeling very bad, lies down on the bed. A little while later, the girl wakes up and realizes that she eventually fell asleep. But it seems that Suleiman has come. But at the same moment, the main character inhales the air and thinks what a disgusting energy is in it. But there was nothing like that during the day. And this is even worse than last time, because the body is tingling and the young lady wonders if it is really that bad. After which she climbs onto the bed and wonders if the prince has lost consciousness. But his skin color is so bad. The main character realizes that his symptoms are similar to those she had before entering this world. She also remembers that Suleiman suffered from a curse from early childhood, after which she mentally asks him to wake up and not give up. The girl understands that it is not to say that he is a good person, but she cannot allow him to fall into eternal sleep. Then the young lady tries to remove the black thing, and when she touches the guy's body with her paws, it seems to heal, and the young lady screams that he cannot fall into eternal sleep. When she finishes doing this, the guy still doesn't wake up, and the girl understands that she can try again, after which she again hits him on the chest with her paws, and when she looks at his face, she thinks whether she really managed to suppress the curse. But he felt better when she was around, and apparently it was the curse that caused the pain and suffering. At the same moment, the main character begins to feel bad and realizes that her body is falling apart, after which she falls on the bed. The next morning, the prince wakes up. But then, he gets up from the bed in surprise and wonders if the pain in his chest has really disappeared, after which he notices a cat next to him and smiles, and also thinks that, as the priest said, this cat helped him. He also claims that he didn't think he would find a creature that could take away this pain, and he says that the cat helped him a lot. The main character at this time is a spirit and dreams about it. How the fish claims that she is a creature of the sea and has a simple request for the cat. After all, she wants to sacrifice her body to her, and if she can help finish her great adventure, then there will be nothing to regret. The main character then says, "What kind of fish is it?" after which she immediately bites it and says that she will fulfill her wish and eat it right now. Well then, the young lady wonders why the fish is so hard and not very salty. The girl opens her eyes and sees a prince in front of her, after which she screams. The guy tells her not to panic so much and claims that she was sleeping and biting his hand, so he asks if she will pretend that it didn't happen. After which he also says, "What a disappointment this is," and the main character looks at his hand and thinks whether she really did this seriously. At this time, the guy says that he will not give her to anyone else, and now the cat will belong to him. The main character wonders if he is talking about her and why his relationship has changed so much. A little while later, the maid is already holding the dress in her hands and asks if it's not cute since she bought it as soon as she had the budget. The main character just meows as if to say that it looks uncomfortable and why wear it. But the maid replies that the ruler's inauguration ceremony is coming soon, so they must show her nobility and beauty. The main character realizes that sometimes Aaron answers as if he understands every word she says. The girl at this time says that they can start with this outfit. She also tells the cat to wait a minute because she is almost finished. A little while later, the main character is already dressed in a dress, and the maid says, "What a sweet and gentle cat, she is full of nobility." The main character thinks about what kind of nobility she is talking about, and Irene claims that the cat has never dressed before. So she suggests that I sit in the room, and we need to take her to a beautiful place. A little while later, they find themselves in the garden, and the maid claims that this is where she usually hides when people want to scold her, and wanted to show her this place. After which, she also tells the cat to wait there, because she will make a beautiful wreath. The main character thinks about what she is talking about, and then she sees a bird in the bushes. But she understands that she needs to behave calmly and not act like a real cat. But at that very moment, the bird flies up to the tree, and as if with a grin, asks if she can catch it. The main character understands that this little thing irritates her, after which she immediately climbs a tree and thinks that she will still show the adept to the bird. But then the bird flies away, and the main character suddenly loses her balance and starts to fall. The girl understands that this has already happened, after which she falls down, but then she understands that she is still alive. Then the guy claims that it looks like luck is on his side today, because such a cute cat fell right into his hands. The main character is then surprised and realizes that she was saved by a handsome and noble man. At this time, the blonde claims that he is seeing her for the first time and that she has such unusual eyes. The young lady realizes that there seems to be another handsome man in the palace, but unlike the Sultan'S, he has a frightening atmosphere. This guy makes her feel like he's a prince on a white horse, and there's nothing she can do about it because he's so attractive. At this time, the guy looks at the cat spell and says that it looks like she lives in the Sultan's harem. He also wonders if the cat has run away and why no one is with her. But it's dangerous for cats to be outside alone. The young lady thinks that she's really been through so much as a veteran, after which the blonde asks if she understands him and claims that perhaps it is better not to take away her freedom to run around the palace. After all, it's noisy there for him alone. The main character then thinks about what to do with this information, but she needs to come up with something, after which the cat sees flowers and takes one of them in her mouth, after which she meows, so that he pays attention to her and doesn't get sad, and also looks at how beautiful she is. But the guy immediately removes the flower and claims that she can't eat it because she might get poisoned. The main character understands that she didn't intend to give it to him and is simply trying to cheer him up. But the guy asks again if she wants a flower, but it's better for her not to eat them. The main character thinks what a disappointment this is, because he doesn't understand anything, and the guy hands her an artificial flower, which is made for decoration, and claims that he will give it to me. After all, it's better not to touch live flowers. He attaches this flower to the cat's dress, and he says that it looks good, and the main character thinks that this is the first flower she has ever been given, and from such a handsome man. But at that very moment, someone cries out to the cat and claims that she could not find it. It turns out to be a maid, and she claims that it would be better for the cat to return. But at that moment, she notices Prince Theron and is surprised. She bows and claims that she never even thought that the cat would be with the prince. And the guy replies that everything is fine, because he thought that the cat had run away from somewhere and that she was lucky to have such a beautiful companion. After which, the guy strokes the cat and says that they will see each other again. The maid then says goodbye to the prince and tells the cat that he is handsome. There she meows in response, as if saying that she completely understands her, and Irene claims that she fell in love with this image like everyone else. And she also wanted to be sent to Theron's palace, and not Suleiman's, and although he is also good, he is scary. The main character understands that she understands her first impression of Suleimaniye, although he is also quite handsome. Well, then the young lady shakes her head and wonders what she is thinking about. The maid turns to the cat and asks if she really got this flower from Theron. She only meows as if to answer yes, and the maid claims that it is very cute. Then Aaron is about to say what it means in the language of flowers, but then he stops, and he says that nothing and also let the cat not take the head. The main character understands that Theron should have known about this, but did not tell. A little while later, the girl is already sitting on the sofa and realizes that she is tired. But suddenly, she feels someone's gaze on her, and wonders what happened. After which she turns around and sees Suleiman. She also thinks why he is looking at her like that. But the girl thinks that it's okay and she'll just ignore him. But then the guy comes closer to her, and he puts his hand on it, which frightens the girl, and seems to ask what he wants from her. The guy at this time claims that it seems they feed her well because the cat used to be so thin. The main character thinks what these words mean, and does she really eat too much? After which, the brown-haired man picks up the cat in his arms and claims that the priest told him to stay as close to her as possible, and then the curse will become weaker. The young lady wonders if he is really talking about this. After which, Suleiman claims that he is not finished with work. So let the cat sit there for a while, and the girl understands that this guy is annoying her. After which, the prince also approaches her and plucks the flower from the swindler. He says that this flower is for decoration and asks if it bothers the cat. The girl only gets angry after this and thinks that this fool should return this flower to him because it is a gift from a handsome man. But Suleiman claims that even though this flower looks ordinary, but he doesn't have the best meaning, and he also doesn't know who was expecting his cat. But it is unlikely that this man did this with good intentions. The main character wonders why he is behaving so strangely. And this is a simple flower. The girl understands that they are helping her only because of the legend. And they treat her well only because she is the embodiment of the goddess, including Suleiman. The girl wonders if his behavior changed when she weakened the curse or because she became useful. But she also thinks about how long this will last, and that the prophecy that the story with the flower makes the girl feel like she is playing according to a scenario that others have come up with. A little while later, the girl has a dream in which Suleiman asks her if she is overeating because she has become plump. After this, the cat screams as if she is not fat, and this fur, and doesn't he see these muscles that are covered with thick fur, and he is so soft and silky. But then the girl feels something so soft and hard at the same time, after which he wakes up on Suleiman's chest and screams in bewilderment. The guy wonders if she really chose breasts this time, and she is such a pervert. The main character is shocked by this. A little while later, the maid turns to the cat and shows her a chest of jewelry. She asks if she likes it, or if the cat wants to look at something else. The main character realizes that Erin has been talking all morning, and her eyes are shining. A little while ago, the girl claimed that the inauguration was coming soon, and they had received gifts so they could take a look. The main character thinks that it's good that at least she's happy, after which the maid says that it's better to take away what they won't need, and asks if the cat will wait there. The main character then meows as if saying that she wants to help. She also realizes that she thinks she can at least move the jewelry. Well, when she gets around to getting one out, then the blonde man comes up to her again and says that they have met again, and also says that the Sultan's cat should never be left alone, and she was dumped again, because it seems no one has yet understood her charm. The guy also claims that he was so worried that she would cry when he was not around. Well, then someone asks if the guy can put her in her place, after which he realizes that it is his brother Suleiman. The blonde guy says that they haven't seen each other for a long time, and the main character wonders why he's angry again. At this time, the brown-haired man claims that he did say to put the cat in its place, and the main character understands that they are both princes and brothers. After which, Theron says that her brother sees that he is just playing with her, but Suleiman tells the guy to take his hands off her, after which the blonde asks if he is obliged to follow his orders. Suleiman then claims that it is his cat, and the other prince asks if this is true. After all, he didn't know this, and he and the cat had already met and become friends, so he was so happy to see her. Well, it seems she wanted to run away because she doesn't like the owner. The main character at this time is in shock, thinking what's wrong with them. And Suleiman claims that she is the cat from the prophecy, and the guy understands what this means. After all, everyone is thirsty for her, but then the brown-haired man leaves with the cat and says that, okay, and it doesn't matter. After all, after the inauguration, they will not see each other anymore, so let the guy not create trouble. The blonde claims that he would like to stay in the capital for some time, and his mother is worried about his illness, so she asked him to understand her. After which, the Sultan tells him to allow him to ask a question, but slightly squeezes the hand that is stroking the cat. He also says that the cat recently got a purple flower and wonders if it was his doing, to which the blonde replies that yes, and it is a small gift. After which Suleiman gets angry and wonders if the guy thinks he doesn't know its meaning. Theron claims that he walks in the language of flowers. This is pathetic love. But this is just a small decoration. However, Suleiman claims that the guy himself told him this story when they were younger. There is a legend about this flower that the couple was blessed by the goddess, but their love ended in misunderstanding because the woman was loved by another man. And this story is about a man who falls into eternal sleep at the end. His interlocutor then claims that he didn't think his brother would worry about something like that and asks how long he has been interested in such stories. But Suleiman claims that he does not understand why it was necessary to give jewelry that brings bad luck. He also says that he will monitor their activities as long as the two remain in the capital, and also let him finish the treatment and return to his territories, after which the guy agrees. After they leave, the cat looks at the blonde and he waves back at her. But she thinks that he will take away everything that belongs to her brother, even the cat. A little while later, the young lady goes further with Suleiman. She realizes that she is so afraid that she cannot say anything. At this time, the maid runs up to Prince Suleiman, and he asks where she went to, which the girl replies that she needed to take things to the warehouse. The prince then says that this is his cat, so let the maid take care of her, because he no longer wants to see her being hugged by someone else. Aaron then apologizes and claims that this will not happen again, and when the gentleman leaves, she asks who he was talking about. That same night, the main character sits on Suleiman's bed and wonders if he is really so upset that he is late today. Well, she also thinks, what if the curse hurts him again? But then the girl shakes her head and thinks why she even cares about him. After all, Suleiman suddenly came and started behaving like a child whose toy was taken away, and she doesn't worry about it. She's just waiting for his apology. The girl also thinks, will they really quarrel over such trifles? Well, then she thinks that it is unlikely that this is a prince, and he will not be jealous of something like this. Suleiman returns to his room when the girl is already asleep, after which he strokes her head. And he says that the cat sleeps peacefully and doesn't even suspect how those around her feel. But he felt so bad when he saw her with that guy, but she doesn't understand it. The next day, the main character is already sitting in jewelry, and the maid is clutching her head. And she screams that the inauguration ceremony is tomorrow, and she still hasn't chosen a cat outfit. Another guy claims that he thinks they all look the same, but Erin snatches the outfit out of his hands and asks what her brother understands and let him help silently. The guy then approaches the cat, and he asks if this is really the dirty creature he brought. Well, his sister immediately hits him on the head and asks what other dirty, and also let him not say bad things about this beauty. The main character understands that she cannot believe that they are brother and sister. At this time, the girl tells her brother to keep his mouth shut in front of her, because this is the prince's precious cat. The main character suddenly remembers how Suleiman told the maid to take care of her. But then she wonders why she remembered that. The young lady thinks that Suleiman began to avoid her on that occasion and does not understand what she did wrong. At this time, someone else comes into the room and says that these two are so energetic, after which they see that it is Prince Suleiman. Well, the man says that it is already late, so let them go to their place. The guy also tells the kitty that he hasn't seen her awake for a long time, and the young lady thinks that he shouldn't say that she sleeps all day long. And of course, she sleeps more than usual, but she is a cat. The guy at this time says that she wags her tail, and he wonders if it's because she's in a bad mood. The main character thinks that it seems like he's learned to understand her signs a little, after which Suleiman sits down next to her and claims that he too has had a lot of problems in recent days. Someone doesn't leave his head even while he's working, and the main character wonders if he's talking about love affairs. After which, the guy claims that another man hugged her, and he can't stand even the thought of it. The main character wonders if he's seriously talking about what floor to the woman. Suleiman claims that he is surprised, because he has never felt this way before. The young lady then places her paw on his hand and meows as if to say that love is always like this. The brunette asks if she is trying to comfort him, after which the main character thinks that she usually doesn't do that, and jumps on his lap and also thinks that only this time, the guy at this time thinks that this way you can go crazy, because his little cat is so cute. He treated her so badly, but she still helps and comforts him, but he wouldn't do that in her place. After that, the girl strokes his hand, but thinks why he stopped, because she likes it so much when she is stroked. Well then, the girl notices Suleiman's cold gaze on her, and he claims that it is pleasant, after which he asks if she did the same with him. The young lady then thinks what is wrong with him, and she doesn't even know what to do. A little while later, someone tells the girl to wake up, and when the lady opens her eyes, then she gets up and asks what time it is, but looking at her hands, she realizes that she is in a human body. At this time, someone else turns to the young lady and says that they have finally met. But she waited so long for her child. The woman claims that she is the goddess who brought her into this world and waited a long time to meet her. The main character asks if this is really Ashtar, to which she replies that yes, the girl has probably heard of her. The young lady then claims that she never thought that the goddess actually existed, and she has so many questions, but the girl asks to be allowed to ask why she called her into this world. The woman claims that she needed a man who would convey her will, and they are perfect beings, that they cannot simply appear before people, so they have to look for someone who will be their representative. The young lady, under 1-year-old, says that it is clear, and she needed her help. But the girl also wonders why she is a cat. The goddess then apologizes and claims that she had to do this because the girl's power is unstable and the blame is entirely hers. The young lady then wonders why she is now in human form. But the goddess replies that this is a world created by her power, and one can be there in the original form. The girl will also be able to adopt and use her power, after which the main character thinks about what she is talking about. And the woman asks if she sees the fountain, because if so, then let her try to extract water from it. The young lady asks what this means, after which the woman replies that she is the goddess of water and of the stars. Naturally, her incarnation can use this power. Then the lady will feel the energy of water and become one with it. That will reveal her full potential. The main character thinks that it is easy to talk about it, but still does not understand. What should she do anyway? Ashtar tells the girl to close her eyes and stretch out her arms, after which she understands that she has nothing to lose anyway, and does so. The woman tells the girl to feel the energy that flows in her body and also asks the water to respond to the call. And let him never doubt, but believe in this power, after which the main character does it. The young lady notices that her hands begin to glow, after which she looks at the water, which is now moving. The young lady is surprised and wonders if this is the power of the goddess Ashtar, and the woman claims that if a girl learns to fully control it, she will be able to do amazing things. Such skills will definitely come in handy for her, and the main character understands that if she has these abilities, she will be able to protect herself, and also to escape from any danger. The goddess claims that at first glance, water seems weaker than fire. But her power is great, because people around her will not feel pain and will never get sick. The girl then looks at the tree that the goddess touched and realizes that it has come to life. And the woman claims that her power is healing and restoration, after which the main character wonders if it is possible to influence the curse. But the goddess claims that if another god interferes, it could lead to undesirable consequences. The girl claims that then perhaps the world will be better off without her, but the goddess suggests that she not despair, because this is not so. The woman also understands that time is running out and claims that she was glad to meet the lady, but she will have to let her go. The main character is surprised by this, and the woman claims that soon the person next to her will be in danger, the one who shares the same fate with her, and they need each other. The young lady remembers the Sultan's, and in shock, she wonders if he is really her destiny. But the goddess puts her hand on the girl's head, and she claims that in the future, not the most pleasant things will await her, but if she can overcome everything, she will get the life she so wanted. Therefore, let her never give up, and the main character wonders if this is a prophecy. The woman replies that yes, we are talking about a promise that she made even before becoming a goddess, because the flow of fate cannot be changed so easily. The main character then says that she doesn't believe in prophecy or fate, after which the woman says that this will do too. He also wishes her luck and states that he cannot fully reveal his power to the world, but will give her a small gift, after which the young lady is surprised and screams that she has. There are still a lot of questions, but the main character only says that they will see the child again with a pure soul, after which the girl wakes up. The girl thinks what kind of dream it was, then looks at herself and screams that she has returned to human form and can speak. Well, when she turns around, she wonders if this really means that she slept with a man in the same bed. The girl also thinks about how long it all took and how long the dream lasted, after which the lady looks at her hand and thinks what kind of power the goddess gave her. The main character remembers how she did it and then tries to do the same in the real world, but she fails. At that moment, the girl begins to feel some strange energy, And she thinks, what is this? Because she is a little different from the usual. The young lady also remembers how the goddess claimed that soon the person next to her will be in danger. The lady with blonde hair wonders if the goddess really spoke about this, and what should she do now? At that moment, the girl hears some kind of rumble and understands that she must remember, otherwise everything will be bad. At that very moment, several robbers burst into the room and ask if anyone is awake, after which they see a woman. The main character screams at the consultant that they have problems, so let him wake up. But looking at the man, she thinks how untimely this is, and the goddess spoke about this danger. One of the assassins claims that this is strange, and he was not warned about this. But then another one screams that they will deal with this girl first, after which they throw a dagger at her. The main character dodges, and looking at the weapon that almost pierced her, she understands that if she had not had time to react, everything would have been very bad. One of the assassins claims that he was lucky once, but there won't be a second time. Hey, the girl understands that she thinks so too, after which the men head towards her, and one of them cries out that there is little time, so they need to put both of them into eternal sleep at once. The main character runs there to the Sultan and tries to protect him, realizing that they cannot fall into eternal sleep like this. She also remembers the words of the goddess, that water seems weaker than fire, but in fact it is a great power. Therefore, let the girl feel the energy that flows in her body and ask the water to respond to the call. And now the young lady asks this power to work, after which it happens. The girl finds herself entangled in a water shield. One of the assassins asks what the hell is going on, and she has some strange power. After which, the other one uses a scroll, and the young lady's shield begins to crumble. The girl in shock tells them to stop, and realizes that she lacks energy. After which, she, hugging the Sultan, tries to protect him, and the assassin swings his sword and claims that he will plunge them both into eternal sleep. Well, at that very moment, the prince parries this blow, and she asks where these rats came from. One of them claims that he will not respond and strikes again, but the prince deftly parries it. The main character thinks how this is possible and understands that she must concentrate in order to help and do at least something. At this time, the man says that the assassins have good skills and sent them to inquire too, but then one of them screams that if he was going to tell, he wouldn't have come there at all, after which he strikes again. And when the prince tries to defend himself, he realizes that there is something else in front of his hands. It turns out to be a shield from a young lady, and she screams, "What is he doing?" because he has to deal with these assassins as quickly as possible. After which, the prince snatches a sword from one of them and wounds him. When all this is over, the Sultan claims that he needs to know the name of the customer so he will remain alive. But the intruder claims that he is not afraid of falling into eternal sleep, after which he uses poison. The main character is shocked and wonders if they really had poison, and the prince claims that it is terrible, after which he also turns to the young lady and sees that she is almost crying. He then says that it is clear and it looks like the girl is very shocked. The young lady notices tears on her face, and the prince tells her to wipe them off and not to be upset. The young lady thinks why it had to happen now, after which the man asks why they had to interfere, since he thought they were in cahoots. The young lady thinks about where to start her explanation and then gets ready to say something. The prince, hearing this, claims that she can still speak, after which he asks again who she is. And the young lady realizes that she is the cat who slept with him in the same bed. But then he thinks she can't say that. The man claims he thought his mother sent it to him, so he was looking for information. But no one saw such a girl in the palace, after which the young lady claims that she did nothing wrong. The prince replies that the investigation will show them this, but she saved his life, so he would not want to turn her in. He also approaches the girl and asks her to tell him who the employer is, because he will help, after which the girl once again makes up a lie and claims that she is a cat and no one hired her. At this time, someone else knocks on the door and asks if everything is okay. The Sultan claims that this time these useless ones came earlier. He then grabs the girl's hand and puts her in the closet. The man claims that they will put her to eternal sleep if they see her, so let the lady stay inside. The main character is then about to answer no, but the prince only whispers for her to be quiet, and also wait there because he will be back soon. A little while later, the emperor is in his office and tells the guy to come in. Brother Aaron claims that he came with information because firstly, the assassins had an escape route planned out. One of the servants betrayed them and sprayed sleeping gas, but all those involved were found already dead. The emperor asks if that's really the case, to which the guy replies that it would be hard to find evidence, and there are almost no traces left. Everything was cleaned up, and the only clue is the poison in the assassins' mouths. Strangely enough, it looks like an ordinary stone. The Sultan then realizes that this is not just a stone, but an artifact. And not everyone can get such a thing in the palace, so it is obvious that Theron and Roxalana arranged everything. The man then states that he leaves further investigation to him, and the guy replies that he understands. The prince also realizes that an attempt was made on his life the day before the inauguration, and they have the audacity to attack him right in the palace. Okay, I just wanted to watch, but this is too much. 2 years ago, a guy approached the queen and asked for permission to execute these two. It would be better to take control and nip the evil in the bud, but the woman replied that she did not allow it. After which, the young man asked whether it was possible to let go those who looked down on the Sultan. Well, the woman replied that her son had always been like that, and she respected his lifestyle. After all, they are similar in this, but the guy claims that he did not come to listen to her jokes, after which the lady tells her son to think about the other princes, because initially there were 6 of them, and now only he and Theron remained. So does he really think that others could have really gone into eternal sleep due to illness or accidents, and now is not the time to create more enemies for himself? But the guy claims that if they are left alone, everything could happen again. After which, the woman says that they have the support of the nobility and the love of the people, so it is not so easy to get rid of such people. And the prince claims that they cannot just sit and wait. After which, the woman says about a 5-year term and let him endure exactly that long. After all, she will give him this position for 5 years. Now the man understands that 2 years have already passed, and all this time he was like a dog on a leash. So he thinks it's better to wait for the right moment. The guy also gets up from his seat and realizes that his brother probably has connections inside the palace. After which, he tells the guy to continue surveillance and report everything. The prince realizes that he cannot believe that the training he has undergone since childhood has been useless, but thanks to it, he remained conscious. It was a dangerous situation, and he couldn't move, and he only saved you because someone kept calling him. The main character asked Suleiman to wake up, and then one of the assassins claimed that there was little time, so they both needed to be put into eternal sleep. But the young lady screamed no, and then used her power. One of them asked what it was. And Suleiman, opening his eyes, realized that it was this girl again, and also thought why she tried to protect him when she herself was in danger. And how could such a phylum end up in her weak body? So he couldn't believe it. He hid it intuitively when the guards came, or even last time his action was not normal behavior. But he doesn't know why he did it. The guy understands that he wanted to see her again when the girl disappeared and wanted to know why she did it. When the guy enters the room, he realizes that he forgot to order it to be cleaned. He also realizes that there are clothes in the closet, but the nights are cold now. After which, the man approaches the closet and wonders whether the girl has guessed or is shivering from the cold. After which, he reaches out to the closet, but thinks about what he is afraid of and why he cannot find the words. The guy also thinks that the young lady friend has run away, after which he opens the closet. However, he sees only a cat there and wonders if this girl has disappeared again, after which the guy thinks what he expected, and where did she go, only the cat remains. But she's so nasty, she's just sleeping while so much is happening around her. The next morning, the young lady wakes up and wonders if she is in the closet, but she was definitely there before she fell asleep. The girl understands that there was a mess in the room of which there is now no trace left, so she wonders if she dreamed it all. Well, it felt too real to be a dream, after which the young lady looks at the clothes lying nearby and thinks if this is really true. At this time, the Sultan turns to her and claims that it looks like the cat had a good night's sleep. The main character realizes that this is Suleiman's voice, after which she turns to him and wonders how long he has been there. At this time, the guy grabs the cat by the skin and asks where she is going. And he also tells the cat to look him in the eyes, and she is very much at fault no matter how you look at it. The main character thinks that it is dangerous. And has he guessed something? Well, she claims to men that such eyes are the only ones of their kind, and she always appears where this girl disappears. The main character thinks that Suleiman should not bring her so close because she could touch his lips, and the man at this time says that she means. The young lady thinks that he should stop, after which someone addresses the prince and claims that it is time to get ready. The man gets out of bed and claims that he is coming, and the main character thinks that it was close. And she can't let herself be revealed yet, because if everything continues like this, she'll have a hard time. After the girl notices the prince's gaze on her, she understands that he scared her. But it looked as if he understood her intentions. At this time, the servant turns to the prince and says that the others are waiting, so let him go, to which he agrees. And the young lady understands that she almost got caught, and it is better to talk to Aziz as soon as possible. At this time, the maid wishes the cat good morning and asks how she feels. The main character thinks that it looks like Erin was really tired yesterday, and it's even scary to look at her eyes. The maid at this time claims that she went out to let the cat rest, but she has little time. And first she offers to choose clothes. The young lady meows as if wondering why. The girl asks if the cat doesn't understand why she's doing this, after which she claims that today is the coronation of Prince Suleiman. A little while later, the girl is already near Suleiman and understands that the atmosphere is more serious than she imagined, but still solemn. And in this guy's place, she would be very nervous. The girl understands that it is great to see Suleiman like this sometimes, and the man who is conducting the ceremony asks at this time to allow himself to be congratulated on becoming the new sultan, and may the gods be with them and their lands. A short time later, the man sits on the throne. The guests say that today is such a good day, that they wish that the goddess Ashtar would always be with the sultan. He thanks them and realizes that naturally the lady is not there. He thinks about the girl who disappeared. After all, the prince had looked for her everywhere, but had failed. But at least one person in the palace had to have seen her. The only connection that exists is this cat, and at this time, people pay attention to it, and also ask if this is the same cat that everyone was talking about. And she's so stunning, the man realizes that he knows it sounds stupid, but how can they be related when this girl had a similar choker on? And in general, there are some common features. It is a mystical atmosphere and a scared but firm attitude, and that she remains where that girl disappears. A little while later, the main character realizes that she is so tired, and it seems that Suleiman has some bad thoughts about her. The maid asks if the cat is okay, and the girl wonders why he was so angry this morning and why he was staring at her since last night. If it weren't for the maid, she definitely wouldn't have been able to cope with this, because the girl took the cat away and said that it didn't look very good. After which, she also claimed that she would bring something tasty, and the main character agreed. She realizes that she can now enjoy the outside air, but then she notices some droplets of water above her. The girl thinks where this energy came from and jumps onto the balcony, after which the fountain sees everything. The main character realizes that she has a feeling that someone is her calls and wonders if this is really a goddess. Then the young lady approaches the fountain and realizes that the energy was coming from there. But it is so pleasant for her to touch this water, as if all her worries are washed away. The young lady also reaches further and thinks that she will touch a little more. But then her foot slips and the cat is already falling into the fountain. She also understands that she can't swim in this body and needs to get out of there. The cat also understands that she does not want to fall into eternal sleep and meows with all her might. Then someone pulls out the cat and says that a big problem would have happened to her if he hadn't made it in time. The man asks if the cat is okay, and the young lady realizes that she thought she would fall into eternal sleep, but she still wonders how this guy ended up there. The blonde guy says that it is dangerous to wander alone at night in such a place. What if some psycho kidnaps her? The young lady realizes it's Theron, and the guy claims it's a good thing he ran away from the party. And he noticed her not too late. The young lady realizes that he looks too cheerful for the person who ran away from the party. After which she meows, as if asking if something bad happened, but the guy is only interested in whether she likes this palace, after which the cat understands that there are good moments. For example, she met Arin, after which the girl also thinks about Suleimania, and understands that he often excites her heart. But she is not sure that she likes it, after which she meows as if to say that not quite, and the prince claims that he understands her. After all, this is a cage in which you can't find freedom. There is only a struggle between the chosen ones and the not. And it's hard to bear. The main character understands that he has that face again, and it seems he was talking about himself. At this time, someone else runs up to them and claims to have found it. It turns out to be Suleiman. The man claims that he searched everywhere, and the cat is in such a place. After which, he also turns to Theron and claims that they are meeting more and more often. The blonde then asks if the party wasn't held in his honor, and the culprit can't leave it. Well, the man wonders if the guy took the cat he was looking for. The young lady thinks that this is not the case at all, and that he saved her. The blonde then claims that he found the cat when she was drowning in a fountain, and was lucky to save her in time. The main character looking at the Sultan is a little surprised, and wonders if he was worried because she disappeared. At this time, the blonde says that his brother had better be careful, otherwise he will easily lose his precious kitty. Suleiman then says that it is none of his business, but the blonde claims that the cat is so poor that she hasn't even received a name. However, his interlocutor tells the guy to stop talking nonsense, and the blonde claims that maybe she ran away precisely because of this attitude, after which the Sultan takes the cat and also says that Theron should not attract his attention with such things anymore. And he is smart, so he understands what he is talking about. The blonde then says that he will go since his brother is so uncomfortable. The main character wonders if they will return to the party, but realizes that the entrance is on the other side. After which, the girl also wonders if he was really going to scold her for trying to escape, which did not happen. The man claims he's been thinking about it all day, about her and that girl, because they never appeared in the same place at the same time. They also have unique eye colors, and the Sultan's mark on their necks, so he's trying to say that if his guess is correct, he'll be able to see this girl when he kisses the cat. And it will take a second, so let her not run away. The main character is surprised by this, but the Sultan immediately brings her closer to his lips. The girl then thinks why she is shaking so much, and she is not even a person now, after which she transforms into her human form. Sultan claims that as he thought it is she. The young lady then says yes, and the Sultan wants to address her. Well, he doesn't know how, and is interested. Address her, and the young lady realizes that he seems to be hurt by Theron's words. The girl claims that she has no name that could be used there, and in her thoughts, she adds that she only has what the director of the orphanage gave her in her past life. And then the Sultan asks, "What about Ishtar? Would this name suit her?" It means child of the goddess Ashtar, and if the girl really is her embodiment, then this name will be suitable. The main character wonders if she is a child, Ashtar, then says that this is not bad. Well, she still tells the prince that she almost forgot, and suggests that he go inside since she has almost no clothes on. The guy is embarrassed by this, and the main character wonders if it will be difficult to go somewhere dressed like this. At this time, someone else comes up to them and asks to let them help with this. This guy also says that it is good that he found them. And the main character understands that it is Aziz, and claims that he was right, after which she apologizes for the fact that she did not believe him right away. At this time, he is silent for a while, and the young lady thinks that this is with him, after which he even gets down on his knees, and he claims that he who is a follower of the goddess Ashtar welcomes them. She also claims that the energy has become clearer, and that she is definitely the embodiment of the goddess of water. The main character then asks what he is doing and suggests that the guy go up. The Sultan also says that this is enough, because they have already attracted attention with the bright light, so it will be difficult to talk there, after which the priest suggests changing her appearance before people arrive. He puts his hand on the young lady's head, and she understands that she had not noticed this oddity before, but why Aziz so sadly smiles. When the young lady looks at herself, she realizes that she is already dressed. A little while later, the girl realizes that Suleiman did so many shameful things, but is he really going to pretend that nothing happened? Well, then someone knocks on the door of the room, and the young lady claims that this person can enter, and the Sultan enters the room. He claims that she will need a lot of new things, and he will also explain everything to Evelyn's sister. After all, she will help. The main character wonders if he really means Aaron, after which the man thinks for a bit, and he approaches the young lady and also asks about the order of her body, and whether she feels anything strange. After all, if she has side effects from the transformation, then let her speak. The main character wonders why he is so kind today, but she understands that recently she was in so much pain that she even fell out of bed. But after receiving the power of the goddess, everything was fine, so the girl claims that she thinks everything is in order, and the man says that it is good. And the priest will also help because he wants to help adapt to life in the palace. The main character then whispers that she was so tired of studying when she was preparing for the entrance exams. The Sultan asks what she is talking about, after which the young lady says that nothing, and she will try. so let him take care of her. The man claims that they don't have time now, so they'll discuss the rest another time. The main character realizes that he left in the middle of the ceremony, after which he says that they will see each other later, which makes the brown-haired man a little embarrassed, after which he says that he will see her. And when he leaves, the young lady wonders what kind of look that was. A little while later, someone addresses the cat, but then changes and addresses her as a lady, and he tells her to wake up, after which the main character realizes that she decided to take a nap. But she didn't think that anyone would come. The maid at this time wonders if she is that very cat, after which the main character ruffles her hair so that it looks normal, and she replies that it was the maid who took care of her. The young lady also turns to the Arons and asks if she will help her, as she did before. But the girl is surprised by this and wonders if she can touch the incarnation of the goddess. The main character tells the girl to call her Ishtar, and the maid claims that it is such a beautiful name, and she also hopes that they will get along, after which the main character says that yes, and let Aron take care of her. The girl also wondered if she could take a walk, because the flower garden looked very beautiful. But the maid then says that she thinks the mistress is attracting too much attention, and she won't say anything about the Western Empire, but they have such an appearance, it's rare. After which the maid takes something out of the chest of drawers and claims that it should help because it will hide the color of the hair and eyes. She puts a veil on the main character's face, but she wonders if it won't make her even more noticeable. Irene claims that they are constantly worn by noble ladies or priests, so everything will be fine. A little while later, the young lady also addresses Aziza, who greets the incarnation of Ashtar. Well, the young lady suggests that he stop using that weird greeting and call her Ishtar, after which the man claims that it's a great name for a cat, and the main character says that she needs to ask something, after which the guy tells her to ask. Of course. And the young lady wonders how long she should stay there, because living in the same room with Suleiman is a bit strange. The priest replies that without her help, the Sultan cannot lift the curse because it weakens over time, and if they protect him from the attacks, then the curse will completely disappear, and then Ishtar will be free. The young lady then thinks that it is clear, and when the time comes, she will have to leave the palace, so she must be ready to protect herself. The girl also understands that she does not want to fall into an eternal sleep in unhappiness, and for this she will become stronger, after which she wonders how long it will take. To which the guy replies that if Ishtar is next to Suleiman, then he thinks that 2 years will be enough. The girl asks if it will take that long and wonders if she will have to share a bed with him, but the priest tells the lady not to worry. After all, at night, she will be a cat again, and they will settle her in a small room that adjoins the bedroom. But the girl thinks that it is still not easy. After all, she can do nothing about his evil intentions and claims that it will be problematic, but the priest is interested in what she is saying. After which the young lady says that it is nothing and asks what she should do next. The man states that he will come after Suleiman leaves for his official residence. Ishtar will receive a broad course in the culture history etiquette and theology of the kingdom. Ivlan will teach her a couple of tricks for self-defense. The young lady thinks if he is talking about self-defense, and it sounds useful because in this life she should be healthy and rich, and also survive to a ripe old age. The priest says that she is in a good mood and asks if she should start today's lesson. After a while, the girl thinks that this is so complicated, and this guy is so different from her usual self, and he also has Spartan methods, so the girl wonders if he is trying to intimidate her on purpose. Well, as the lady moves on, someone says that it seems to be her. One of the maids asks what kind of tricks this woman used. To melt the prince's heart, the other says that she has heard that he has been staying in the bedroom for a long time since she arrived, and they also gave her the next room, so just think about it. Does this girl really want to squeeze into the harem? Iran then says that Lady Ishtar was not paying attention, but the young lady thinks that usually she would have done so, but not this time. After all, such words cannot be ignored. After which the girl says what an interesting story this is, and one of the maids asks what the lady wants. The main character claims that they spoke specifically so that she could hear, and she wants to thank them. Well then, one of the maids asks what they are talking about because they were just cleaning, but the young lady says how brave they are. And they are also right, because now she is the closest person to the prince, and their words are very sad because they belittle his good taste. One of the women then asks if the girl really deceived him with the same speeches, and this does not change the fact that she is a vile witch. The main character asks if they really called her a vile witch, and if so, then they are wrong. After which the girl takes off her voile and tells these girls to open their eyes wider, and wonders if they can repeat it, looking at her face. A little while later, Aziz asks if the lady had to show her face. The girl replies that there was a small argument, and he is not going to blame her for it. She also thinks that if she had not intervened, it could have reflected badly on R&D. At this time, the priest says that no, everything is fine, because now the number of people whispering behind her back will greatly decrease. And he thinks that no one will argue with Beauty Ishtar. The girl then says okay, and as he says, but she claims that she would like not to wear a veil. Well, what should she do with this thing on her neck? Because of strange rumors may start spreading around her. The girl understands that the mark of the Sultan's cat cannot be cut with scissors or a knife, and during transformation, it also changes shape, so she has no way to remove it. But the priest can use magic. The man claims that it is an important item that is best kept to oneself and asks if it is much of a hindrance. The girl replies that no, and it just rings when she walks, after which the man says that okay, and now she is a person, so the mark is not needed. And he will remove the bell, after which he will use magic, and the bell will disappear. The man says that everything is ready, and let the ladies try to wear the choker, even if it is uncomfortable, because it is very important for Ishtar, to which the young lady agrees. At this time, the maid turns to her and says that they have been working for so long, so she asks if she would like to take a break. The girl also claims that today she made a special tea. Hey young lady claims that it is great, after which she asks what it is called. Aaron replies that this one is floral and chamomile. It was brought along the new sea route, and it smells wonderful. The main character wonders if chamomile tea really exists there, and it reminds her a little of the past. The girl drank it when she was studying for entrance exams and suffered from insomnia. Now the maid asks the lady if she likes it, to which she smiles and claims that it is very tasty, after which she thanks the maid. The main character understands that she has nothing to thank Aaron for, but she always treats her so warmly. The girl at this time says that it is good that the mistress liked it, and next time she will cook more. The maid thinks that she is so glad that they have a Lady Ishtar. A little while later, the girl learns that the country's history was written by love. The kingdom of Ashtal has collected many love stories over thousands of years of existence. The grief could be entered by a variety of people, regardless of status and nationality. Both men and women can become sultan, so the grief changes accordingly. Harem did, this is done for the well-being and prosperity of the kingdom. But at the same moment, the girl feels her head start to hurt and realizes that her throat is buzzing. The blood vessels throughout her body seem to have contracted, and she realized that these were symptoms of her transformation into a cat. The girl didn't feel this way when Suleiman was nearby, but now she manifests herself as a cat and thinks that it's bad, after which she trips over his dress and starts falling to the floor and screams. But the Sultan saves the girl by grabbing her and asking if she is okay. The main character only meows after that, and the man says that it is good that he was not late, and it's better if she reads books in the evening in bed, because they can't predict when the transformation will begin. After this, the main character only meows as if they were saying that she was so scared, and the Sultan says that his cat is such a crybaby. He puts it down on the bed and asks if classes with Aziz are helping, to which the girl agrees. And the man asks how life is in the palace and whether something bothers her. The girl understands that Suleiman helped her become a person, and this gave her a little freedom. Of course, you have to wear a veil, and the available space is limited, but it is psychologically difficult to sit in a room all the time. Aryan takes care of her, so there are far fewer problems than there could be. The maid turns to the lady every time and asks if she needs anything else, because if so, she will bring it. Well, the young lady realizes that she feels like a bird locked in a cage. At this point, the Sultan asks her if she really needs to turn into a human to say something. At this time, the main character thinks that he is sleeping half naked, and does he really want her not to close her eyes all night? At this time, the Sultan asks her to speak if there are any problems, or to try to write, and also at least to inform the maid if she does not want to tell him. After which, the man also apologizes that he is locking her out because of his circumstances. The girl understands that at first, the guy seemed to her like a bad and spoiled prince, but maybe she was wrong. After all, he could have taken advantage of her weakness, but he didn't do it. and they need each other, so they will get used to this, and she can also apologize if he wants. Well, the girl then realizes that she is starting to get nervous, after which she breaks away from the Sultan's fight and goes to the fabric. The guy asks what she is doing, and the girl writes letters with her paws. And in the end, the word thank you comes out. The young lady, looking at the Sultan's face, thinks that he understood it, after which the man takes her in his arms and says that he will go crazy with her cuteness. The young lady wonders what he is doing because she is now even more nervous, but the man only thanks her. The young lady is a little surprised by this, and the Sultan leans her against himself and says that he is very grateful to her. A little while later, the girl is already in the greenhouse, which the Sultan built especially for the royal family. The maid claims that it is a very beautiful place that is full of greenery all year round. The main character thinks that it is not just a garden, but a greenhouse, and it is so luxurious. Aaron claims that the greenhouse is very large, so you can walk for quite a long time. And the young lady thinks that, however, she came for tea with the most influential person in the country. Well, she also thinks that since she lives with her son, you need to listen to what she says. And she won't do something like take the money because she won't give up her son. The girl also says that if you think about it, it's not such a bad offer. The maid asks what the lady is talking about, after which she says that it's nothing, and thinks that it's interesting how dramatic it will be. The girl understands that she can turn the situation around and demand money herself, but it's better to take the envelope with cash while it's on offer. The maid smiles at this point and says that it's great that the lady is full of confidence. This is a bit different from her usual mood, after which the young lady asks if this is true. She also realizes that she has been depressed many times when she found herself in an unfamiliar world. And maybe it's all thanks to the power of the goddess and the return to human form. But now she is very excited about what awaits her in the future, and she also wants to protect her dear people. The girl understands that with this power, she is capable of anything, after which she turns to Aaron and claims that she does not intend to become someone's puppet, and she will only wear the beautiful things that she chooses herself. Her attitude towards the maid may cause problems. Therefore, if someone bothers her because of her, then let her immediately say that now she is not capable of much, but she will definitely repay her. Irene is surprised by this, after which everything turns around, and also says that the Lady Ishtar is definitely an amazing person. After all, others would beat her or scold her for her mistakes, but the mistress treats her so well. The main character wonders what she is talking about. She also thinks that it looks like this young girl had a very hard time in the palace, but she still saved her without any reason. So the girl claims that Aaron is like a family member to her. The maid then thanks the lady, who thanks her in return. A little while later, the main character approaches Sultana, and he says that may God's blessing and glory always be with her, after which he introduces himself. The woman then asks if Aziz told the lady about the manners of their kingdom, after which she only apologizes. And the woman claims that she doesn't care about such formalities, so let the girl sit down. The young lady is surprised by this, and the Sultana asks what she is looking at, and the girl is cute in the form of a cat and in the form of a person. The main character then apologizes and claims that she was looking at the Sultana's beauty. The woman thanks her for the compliment, but she claims that the girl's appearance is also impressive, and she thinks that her son already likes Ishtar. The main character is surprised by this and thinks what to do now, because she did not think about such a development of events and why the conversation went in such a direction. At this time, the woman offers to drink a cup of tea, and Ishtar does not understand that now she is nervous again, after which the maid pours tea, and the Sultana asks Ishtar if there were any inconveniences during her life in the palace. The girl replies that no, because they take good care of her, so everything is fine. However, the lady with red hair claims that she thinks the place has become a little more comfortable since the girl arrived. Ishtar thinks that she no longer understands why this woman called her from there, after which he asks if the Sultana wanted to tell her something. The woman claims that the girl is a smart child, but today she just wanted to spend time with Ishtar and only heard news about her human form, but didn't see it in person. The main character realizes that this woman doesn't seem to be upset or angry about anything, after which she claims that Suleiman used to forbid any strange women to approach his palace. But with her appearance, he stopped paying attention to this and generally began to behave differently. Ishtar claims that many immediately thought that she was part of his harem, and perhaps it would have been better to hide it. But the lady with red hair wonders if she really thinks it would be better that way, after which Ishtar cannot stand it any longer and asks what the Sultana's true intentions are. The woman then says that the girl does not like to waste time, after which she claims that maybe she will guess why Suleiman's mother wanted to see her in person. Ishtar asks if the Sultana suspects her of anything, to which the woman replies that of course not. And on the contrary, he wants to ask her to take care of the guy, because if she bears this burden, the woman will put everything on the line and take care of her for the rest of her life. The main character asks if this is really so, to which the woman replies that yes, Suleiman will need several years to fully take the place of the Sultan, and there will also be many obstacles in the process. So if the girl can endure this, she will be free to ask her for anything. Ishtar asks if she can promise her this, after which the woman says that of course, and they will even certify the documents, and asks what the girl wants most of all. The young lady understands that in Korea she would ask for real estate, but what would she take there? Aziz didn't teach her that. And to be honest, she's not sure. The girl wants a lot of money, land, and a house, and a quiet old age with cats. She wants to say everything. But revealing your feelings in such a situation is not the best idea, so you need to think about the distant future. And the girl claims that what she wants most is freedom. The woman wonders if that's true. And the young lady replies that yes, and when Suleiman becomes a full-fledged sultan, then let her be allowed to do whatever she wants. The woman says what a strange lady this is, and in her place she would try to maintain contact with the palace at any cost. Ishtar, however, claims that all people are different, and understands that Theron is probably not the only one who finds it difficult to be there. The woman claims that she thinks it would be strange to judge the girl by the standards of this world, and then swears by the honor of the 9th Sultan, Harem that will fulfill her promise. She also asks if the girl wants to take a little walk while they discuss all the details, after which the two move on and talk. But a little while later, someone else approaches them. The woman smiles and claims that she never thought she would meet the Sultana there. Lati with red hair claims that they haven't seen each other for a long time and wonders if Roxolana has decided to go for a walk too. The blonde replies that it was a long time ago, and her mood was a bit bad, so she went out for a walk, and it seems that it was the right decision. Once she was able to see the beautiful cassock, the young lady understands that it is Roxolana, and Aziz talked about her and also asked her to be especially careful, but the girl understands that she does not seem dangerous. The blonde at this time claims that beauty loses its value if there is no one to look at it, and Harem claims that such greed is enviable. And she also hopes that one day everyone will understand the art that Roxolana is trying to excel at. The woman then wondered if the Sultana was talking about her works and whether they could hardly be exhibited or shown anywhere. But she did not know that Lady Harem herself was interested in them. But she still claims that she thinks instead of discussing such trivial things, it would be better to talk about the girl standing next to her. Harem replies that she is her son's favorite, and she decided to chat with her a little after, which another woman asks if this is the girl who is close to the second prince. The lady with red hair claims that the affairs of the main palace interest Roxolana more than she thought, but the blonde replies that she is mistaken because the rumors had spread so widely that she could not miss them. The main character understands that she is like a shrimp stuck between two whales. Sultana says that lately her interlocutor has had many reasons to worry, and she hopes that Prince Theron will soon get better and they can return home. Roxolana claims that no one disputes the Sultan's rule, so why is she so worried? But she will thank her for her kindness and concern for the prince, after which the woman claims that she is not feeling very well, and so she will go. As she heads back, Harem claims that this woman is the biological mother of the 4th Prince Theron, and the girls better be wary of her. For this woman, it is quite an unpleasant place, but she continues to come there. The main character asks why it is unpleasant, after which the woman claims that the Sultan gave her this greenhouse when she was younger and proposed to her there. When she first met Mehmed, she thought he was a simple soldier because he was in uniform and came to the market. Harem was born into a fallen noble family and fell in love with him without even knowing his true identity. They were so enchanted by each other that they did not see anything around them. The woman also claims that he called her his flower and promised he would never hurt her. After which, the young lady claims that he is a very romantic person, and the lady with red hair replies that he was like that only for her. He sent love letters even from the stake, and it seemed that he would never fall into eternal sleep. But in the end, he left this world and left her with a great burden. The woman also apologizes for bringing up these useless feelings in front of her, and the young lady replies that it is okay, because everyone has such experiences. The woman asks if this is really true, and then claims that she is glad that the lady thinks so. Well, the main character asks why she should be more careful with Roxalana, to which the woman replies that she is Theron's mother, who is Suleiman's sworn enemy, so they will definitely try to take the girl under their control, and she must become stronger to avoid this. And she will give her the position of the most noble person in the palace. After some preparations, they will officially declare the young lady the incarnation of the goddess. And then no one will be able to treat her badly. But the main character wonders if this is a good enough idea. To which the woman replies that she originally planned to lure her with gold and silver, but she doesn't think it will work. The main character thinks that wealth is one of her most important goals. She is a woman. Then she says that the lady should not worry, because she will keep her promise. And if she wanted to harm her in any way, then two people would come for her soul. The main character wonders if this is really so, and understands that it seems that one of them is Suleiman, but she wonders if someone else. The woman then answers that it is her and her son Aziz. The second is quite chaotic, and it will be even more difficult with him because he waited for the young lady for a very long time. The main character says that he said something similar, after which she asks why he waited for her. Well, the woman replies that she had better ask him about it herself. A little while later, the maid asks what happened to Lady Ishtar. She heard that afternoon classes were cancelled. The main character claims that Aziz gave a lot of assignments. Therefore, she will still have to study for a long time. Yegor asks personally, "Is it really so?" again. And today is a day off. So why doesn't he let the lady rest? The main character then screams, "Is it really a day off today?" After which, the Sultan also enters the room and asks if Ishtar is even studying today. The young lady at this time thinks how a person can be so beautiful, and the guy claims that they haven't seen each other for a long time, but she doesn't have to react like that, and asks if she's afraid of him. Ishtar replies that this is not the issue, after which the man asks what it is then. The girl thinks that she is actually grateful because she can watch this for free. And Suleiman says that if she is afraid, then okay, because people often behave like that with him. At this time, the main character only says that he came early today and wonders if he forgot something. The boy asks if he can't come into his own room, and the young lady wonders if he's really pouting over something like that. But the prince does have a sweet side. After which, she claims that she was simply surprised, because he came at an unusual time and let him say what happened. The guy then asks if the girl is free today, to which she replies that Aziz gave her a lot of work, and she is busy. After all, he makes her read books even on weekends, and it's so boring, but he continues to say that she should study until she falls into eternal sleep. The Sultan asks if this is true and claims it is terrible. The young lady then says that maybe he will intervene and shorten her school schedule. Well, the man claims that he has a better idea, after which he suggests that they leave the palace together. A little while later, they are already at the capital of the Eastern Kingdom. The girl realizes that this is very different from the landscape she saw as a cat, after which the lady is completely surprised and is not interested in whether there is a sea there. Maria replies that yes, and it separates the continents from each other. Ishtar asks how long it will take to get to the other side, to which the man replies that it will take about an hour by boat. On the other side, you can find the road to the west, and the atmosphere there is very different from theirs. Therefore, he tries to be careful when visiting other countries for exchange purposes. The main character thinks that this guy usually groans like, "Where is now similar to a real prince," but the girl understands that she is thinking about the wrong thing again. The main character also realizes that it was a good idea to go with Suleiman. After all, now she feels a little freer. The guy then claims that the girl seems to be in a good mood and answers that yes, it was hard to adapt to life in the palace, and it's a bit stuffy there. The Sultan then says that it seems he hasn't been paying her enough attention, but at this time, the young lady pays attention to his outfit, and the guy wonders if there is something wrong with him. The girl realizes that this is too stylish compared to other people, and claims that she thought they were going to the city of Incognito. The Sultan replies that everything is exactly like that, and the young lady thinks that the prince does not understand the outside world well because he does not even realize how much attention he will attract to himself. So first you have to do something with his hair, after which the lady tells him to bow his head. He also understands that if he wants to get along with people easily, he must appear modest. Ishtar also tells him to close his eyes for a second, and the guy thinks why so suddenly. But then he agrees, and does so. The guy thinks he needs to calm down, because there is no need to panic there. But the atmosphere is so strange, after which he also thinks whether the girl is too close. But he has such a feeling, as if their lips were about to touch. Well, at that very moment, the main character puts her hands on his head. Then he ruffles his hair and says that it will be better this way. The guy asks if that's all, to which the girl replies that yes, but then remembers something else and puts a hood on him, and also claims that it is even better this way. The Sultan then wants to say something, but the young lady claims that it seems they have arrived, after which the two get out of the carriage, and the main character realizes that she has already been in this place. The guy then asks if she has already been to the bazaar, to which the young lady replies that she hid there when she was in her cat form. Ishtar realizes that she was a stray animal just a couple of weeks ago, and now she went on a secret journey with the prince, and life is so unpredictable. The guy claims he's never been a cat, but it can be weird seeing the same place in different forms. The main character then wonders what the Sultan would be like in the form of a cat, but the man only tells her to forget about it. At this time, Ishtar suggests asking Aziz for help, and experimenting, well damn, I have to. She suggests stopping talking nonsense and moving on. A little while later, one of the saleswomen asks if they are looking for something specific, because they sell almost anything. There is high quality and trifling prices, so let them come and have a look. The young lady then approaches one of the stalls, and one of the sellers dressed in her guise immediately approaches. And he points to one amulet, and also says its name, and claims that it is an amulet against the evil eye. A very popular product lately, and it protects against failures and troubles. The young lady realizes that they seem to sell some kind of protective charm there, after which she asks if it would be a good gift. The man replies that everyone likes them, so it's a great choice. And then the young lady tells him to give her this product, and also understands that this is her first purchase in this world. But the girl thinks how many coins she needs to pay, because she only studied etiquette and history. The Sultan then claims that the young lady has not yet figured out the local prices, so he will take care of everything, after which the young lady says that she wanted it herself, and she needs personal experience. But the man then says that the wallet, it's heavy, so he'll carry it. Well, the young lady thinks that this is really so, and understands that the wallet weighs more, after which she goes after the Sultan and says that she does not understand. So let him wait. A little while later, he is already talking to another merchant, and the young lady realizes that she thought something special would happen since they were going incognito. But for now, there is nothing interesting there, because they only ask what goods are currently in demand and what scenes. Well, she's still happy because it's her first time going shopping, and maybe she should look around a bit. But at that very moment, some stranger pushes the young lady, and the main character thinks why push her so hard? She also falls on something soft, and when she looks up, she realizes that it is the Sultan. The guy asks if Ishtar is okay, to which the young lady replies that she is, and he claims that there is a big crowd there, so she should try not to get lost. The main character thinks, where did so many people come from? And the Sultan claims that it will be dangerous if they get separated, then let her go closer. Ishtar thinks that only her heart is in danger now, and it looks like they are hugging. The guy claims that today is the main trading day. That's why there are so many people, and he suggests leaving quickly. At this time, the main character wonders if the Sultan really doesn't care about this at all, after which he simply offers to move on, and the young lady agrees. But she understands that it seems like she is the only one who is nervous, and what should she do with this emotionless guy? But Suleiman, when they go further, still blushes. The next day, the maid says how beautiful this bracelet is, and its color resembles the eye of Lady Ishtar. But then she sees that the lady does not react at all, and wonders if something has happened. The main character notes that everything is fine and asks if Aaron liked it. The maid then only asks if something really happened yesterday, to which the main character of the game does not answer that nothing like that, and she took a little walk with the Sultan. Well, the maid claims that it was their first date, which is why the young lady choked on her tea, After which he says that it is not true, because it was just a secret excursion. The maid claims that if the prince wanted to go to the city secretly, then why did he take her with him? The young lady replies that they were just looking around the bazaar. But then she remembers the warm embrace that gently enveloped her, and it was such a feeling that she can still feel it. The maid at this time claims that the lady's face now resembles a red-hot piece of iron, to which the young lady replies that it is simply hot today, and her interlocutor says that, of course, and also asks whether she should cancel the morning fencing training. The main character asks if she is really here today, after which she claims that this cannot be missed, and suggests that Aaron go. The girl also realizes that she doesn't think she'll need the technique self-defense when there is the power of a goddess. Well, she does not want information about her to spread. Therefore, it is better to protect yourself in case of an unforeseen situation. And while there is an opportunity to learn for free, Ishtar asks who will be the teacher, and it is not some stern man, to which the maid says that the lady should not worry about it. After all, he is kind and will teach everything necessary. The main character wonders if this is Ivlin, and he is the one she didn't want to see. After which, the guy just wishes Lady Ishtar good morning, and the main character looking at his face thinks that it's worth just looking. And also, can't he even move near the girl, after which he decides to joke a little, and he extends his hand and offers to shake hands in honor of their acquaintance. The guy only gets nervous after that, and the main character grabs his hand, after which he suggests to the teacher to start the lesson and not to waste time on trifles. An hour later, the guy says that he will bring some water, and that the girl should rest a little. Ishtar understands that her appearance definitely stands out, if even this guy reacts like that. But then she still thinks about what she is doing anyway, because the only person she wants to joke about like that is Suleiman. Well, the lady thinks, why did he start to react so calmly? And it would be normal to be at least a little embarrassed. She doesn't like it. So she tried to do everything several times. But the girl thinks, why does it bother her at all? After all, initially she was going to avoid him, but now she is constantly paying attention. Then the young lady swings her training sword and thinks that she has too many chaotic thoughts. At this point, someone else turns to the lady and says that she is swinging the ball alone and that it is so unusual. The main character is surprised by this, and the sword falls out of her hands, after which she thinks that it is dangerous. But the guy just grabs him. The main character looking at him asks if this is Theron, but the prince asks if they know each other, after which the young lady apologizes to him, and also claims that she did not notice the prince, and also could not stop in time, to which he replies that nothing and there are no problems. He also claims that only people connected with the government come to this place, so he thought that the girl is an unusual person, and she can also call him as she likes, and he will allow her to give a little advice, because on glasses often lose concentration and lose sight of their ball. But even a wooden ball can seriously injure, so let her be more careful. The young lady thanks him, after which the prince claims that he is glad that he was able to help her. The young lady then begins to stare at him, and the guy wonders if he has something on his face. Ishtar wonders if she really needs to be told directly that he is handsome, and then she claims that it's just not every day that you get the chance to meet Prince Theron in person. But the girl also asks if she can stay there, and if it is really such an important place. The prince replies that his brother will definitely be angry if he finds out, so they can keep everything a secret. Ishtar realizes that she doesn't think it's a good idea to meet him there, so it's better not to get between the enemy brothers. The girl also claims that she's already finished her classes, so she'll go. And the guy says that it's so strange because they're seeing each other for the first time, but for some reason the young lady thinks that this atmosphere scares her. And is it really the same person she met before? Because he doesn't look like him at all. At this time, the teacher comes up to them and asks Prince Theron what he is doing there. The guy then turns to Evelyn and claims that they haven't seen each other for a long time, and also says that he was passing by, and also wanted to return the lady's wooden sword, which she almost dropped. At this time, Ishtar offers Ivlana a finish for today. The teacher is surprised after this, and the blonde claims that it seems the girl does not want to train anymore. Ivlan then says that it is time for him to go and apologizes for being rude. He also runs up to Lady Ishtar and tells her not to go there alone. The prince wonders if this is the same girl from the rumors, and she is also his brother's favorite. That's why the guy claims that her past needs to be checked. And let the shadow not miss anything, because in the future it will only become more fun. A little while later, the knight already reports this situation to the Sultan, his pen in anger, and then tells him to repeat who the girl just met. A little while ago, the Sultan asked how far the investigation into the capital's black market had progressed, and whether they had identified those behind the incident last time. The knight replied that there were only suspicions and no clear material evidence had yet been found. Everything is so vast that it is difficult to find a single ledger. The Sultan then realizes that they need a precise clue that can destroy Roxolana. To achieve this, the first priority is to drive out those behind the illegal trade and tax embezzlement that flourishes in the capital. And the second task is to eliminate in advance the forces that will surely go beyond the capital and become corrupt tyrants for the entire kingdom. After which, the man tells the knight to make sure that they found her, because the evidence will surface if they track the volume and quantity of weapons sold on the black market, to which the guy replies that he will remember it. After which, he also claims that if you think about it, Prince Theron visited a training camp today. The emperor then asks if he really paid a visit to the camp, and this irritates him. And also this guy himself really irritates him, after which he wonders why his brother was there. The prince claims that he came exactly when he was away for a while, and the Sultan wonders if he was with Ishtar while the guy was not around. The knight shudders after that. He also bows and states that he is sorry because he will be more careful to ensure that something like this does not happen again. And the emperor thinks why the guy did this. The prince might not be very pleased to approach her. He refused to set foot on the no-go training camp grounds, and he must have approached her to use her for political purposes. Well, the guy also thinks that if not, and he has been experiencing anxiety and impatience for some time now, when he sees the girl in front of him, the Sultan understands that even when he falls asleep at night, the girl sleeps in the form of a small kitten, and he's afraid that one day she'll disappear like a mirage. Well, then the man suddenly clenches his fist and wonders if he's really afraid. But emotions only do harm, and he thought that this would not help to set the kingdom right. It was fun to be in that awkward love feeling, but now everything is different. And he knows this very well, so how stupid it was to indulge in such careless thoughts. The guy also thinks about how he should call this unpleasant feeling, which will be impossible to grasp, after which he gets up from his seat and claims that the prince cannot do this. The knight is surprised and wonders what the gentleman is saying, and he replies that that is all for today, and adds in his thoughts that he needs to see Ishtar. A little while later, he is already heading down the corridor, and he understands that after thinking about this, it is time to take a tour of the cities located near the capital, to unite the nobles and inspire loyalty to the ruling family, although this is one of the main tasks that the governor of the capital must perform. So it is not surprising that this time, the capital, after which the guy comes into the room, and the main character meets him and asks if he really came early. The guy then arranges a little, and he understands that he feels suffocated when he sees this girl, and he has never loved the existence of someone so much. At this time, the main character puts her hand on Suleiman's corner and asks if something really happened, and also if he is in pain. The guy replies that he is fine, but he understands that he doesn't know what to do now, and that everything has been mixed up in his head since the last time they went to the market together. At first, he thought it was because of Ishtar, who felt disappointed by unknown actions, but he realized that it was a lot of fun to walk around the bazaar with someone, buying sandwiches on the street and looking at cheap food. When they walked together, the guy was worried that she might fall and that someone might hurt her, and coincidentally, he discovered for the first time in his life that his heart could beat so fast he finally had to admit it. And that was the fact that this girl was with him, not only to satisfy his needs, but also to fulfill his personal desires. The main character at this time once again screams to the Sultan and asks what happened. Because today he is a little strange, the young lady also asks why he sighs like that when he looks at hers. And the guy tells Ishtar that starting tomorrow, he will leave for a while to visit cities near the capital, and he is very sorry that he is leaving her alone. The main character then asks if he really knew, and for how long, and the girl replies that most likely no more than a week, because he would even say that a maximum of 5 days, after which the young lady asks if she can go with him. And the guy then thinks, what does this mean? After which he looks at the young lady and thinks, what does this mean? The girl at this time only screams that this means that she will have to be a cat for some time, and she hates it so much. The young lady also thinks that she can just pinch his cheeks, after which the guy claims that he will do everything possible to avoid any inconvenience. So he asks the girl to be patient, and he told Evelyn to take a break from classes for a while, after which the young lady asks if this is true. And yet she claims that the Sultan should have told her a little earlier, so that she could prepare, otherwise he blurted it out on the eve of the trip. And even for the prince, it is too much. The guy at this time understands that he is going to hug the girl, but thinks how he can allow this to happen, and he wants to let his body move at the will of any thoughts that come to his mind. In the meantime, he wonders if the girl might hate him and worries that she might leave him. So this trip is a kind of opportunity, after which the guy claims that he will return very soon. The Sultan also thinks that it is possible to look into the face of the feeling that he has for her, and he hopes that nothing will happen to the young lady. The blonde man is walking through his estate at this time and looking at the purple flowers. He also says that they have grown beautifully, no matter how strange it may look with their help. He will also be able to prepare a large amount of poison, because it cannot be just beauty. It's nice to see them bloom so that the damn time can wither and forget about them. But poisonous plants have many uses, both as a medicine that heals people and as a drug that instantly takes life. At this time, one of the shadows greets the prince. But at the same moment, he hits the slogan in the face and claims that he already told him not to show such carelessness, and also does the servant really want to die. The girl only claims that she made sure there was no one around, and therefore asks for forgiveness for failing his task. The man then asks what she was talking about and suggests getting down to business. The woman then claims that she is there to report something that the prince has instructed her to investigate, and she is sorry to say this, but she could not find at least something about this woman. All circumstances, including age, instead of birth, and social status, the mysterious blonde is interested in. How about the story about the Sultan leaving the palace, to which the girl replies that she also could not understand it at all? The truth is that one day, unexpectedly, a girl appeared in Prince Suleiman's palace, which was apparently a move on his part. But no investigation was carried out before or after that. And besides, there is news that the Knights of Suleiman are moving separately, and it looks like they are exploring the market. The blonde then says that his brother is very smart, and he wants to hug this little brother. So as his younger brother, he should give the Sultan something to do. There are people who were recently fired from the palace, so the guy asks what the investigation revealed about them, to which the girl replies that nothing. After which the prince says that she should then plunge them all into eternal sleep, and also wonders what kind of rumors will go around if the people whom the Sultan expelled plunge into eternal sleep in a terrible way. Theron claims that he really wants to do this, after which he tells the shadow to go back and do its own thing, and agrees to something aid. At this time, the guy looks at some other flowers and remembers the cat, and also understands that, now when he thinks, he wondered if everything was okay with this cat, because these flowers are not harmful to humans, and he was very surprised that the cat bit something that almost looked like poison. If he sees her later, he should tell her not to go to the flowers, and he should not continue to give it to him. But the guy still thinks, why does he continue to think about it? And this is not just someone's cat, but his brother's cat. And moreover, if this cat is from the prophecy, then he must destroy it. But he does not want to harm this kitten and wants to take the throne from her. The guy also thinks why these useless feelings only get stronger, because he is only taking care of the cat. He also thinks as soon as he began to think about it, he noticed something else, because he never showed interest in the opposite sex. But as soon as a certain woman named Ishtar appeared out of nowhere, she turned out to be the one with whom Suleiman was in love. If he loses her, what kind of facial expression will he make? After which the blonde claims that it is funny to imagine. A little while later, the main character realizes that she definitely feels that something should happen after this day. And also, doesn't it seem to everyone that there is some kind of came around? And if you think about it, then Aziz told her something. A little while ago, a girl asked the teacher about the fourth prince, and he asked if she meant Prince Theron. She answered something yes, and asked what kind of person he was, because she wanted to know more about him. After which he claimed to the teacher that Roxolana came from the richest family on the continent, and that this guy was her only child. As the girl could see, he has a very attractive appearance, and is extremely kind to women. To the girls in the palace, he is known as the prince on a white horse. In terms of appearance and personality, he is more popular than Suleiman, And what's more, he follows in the footsteps of Roxolana. The guy is responsible for sponsoring orphanages and participating in various aid events. The prince often said that he was simply returning wealth to the city. The young lady then thought that this meant he was a good man, and wondered if she should be careful. Aziz then claimed that this meant that this was the image the prince was demonstrating. Because if you look at his actions, he is a very dangerous person. As the girl knows, the heirs who are currently left in the kingdom are two, the second prince, who is the son of the current sultan, and the fourth prince, Roxolana's son. This means that if Suleiman disappears, Tehran will become the next sultan. For this reason, Hurrem Haseki, Sultan, will continue to be vigilant against Tehran's forces because she does not know what might happen. Therefore, it would be better for the girl to watch the prince. And now the main character is a little depressed, and also understands that, because of such things, she feels uneasy being alone. And if only Suleiman were there at such a time. After which, the girl thinks about this guy, and thinks that he is strange, and has only been absent for a few days. But she already feels lonely. The girl also realizes that she hates seeing an empty bed in the morning, after which she lies back down, and realizes that she has feelings similar to falling in love. She admits that they exist, but if you dive into them for even a second, she feels like her heart is dancing a tap dance, and the girl thinks, isn't this dangerous for her? The lady also wants this torment to stop. She doesn't think the situation will change for the better. Well then, someone else reaches out their hands to the young lady, which frightens her, after which she completely understands that these are the maids who took care of her while Aaron was away. One of them claims that she can't, and that it's so cute, and the other one asks if the girl saw how she patted her on the cheek. One of them also asks if they can touch her for a minute before Aaron shows up, but the other then asks if the girl knows her character because she's boring and can start a fight for any slightest touch. The main character thinks that they should stop moving, after which one of the maids says that just a little bit, and if the cat doesn't like it, then they can just stop. And so when the main character jumps on the girl's lap, and she says that the cat climbed onto her lap, then the other maid says that the goddess is such a friendly kitten, and it's so cute. After which, one of them asks to let her touch the cat for a minute, and then meows, and understands that the situation has really changed. In the past, there were people who thought that she was just a cat that could not speak and treated her indifferently. But now she thinks about how gentle their touches are, and they are not bad either. But at the same moment, the girls hear someone else addressing them. It turns out to be Aaron, and she wonders what this girl is doing. After which, one of the maids says that Aaron should not misunderstand them, because the cat herself asked them for affection, after which the maid also leaves. And she says that then she will go because she needs to work. The other one also says that, yes, and they have something to do, so they will see each other next time. The main character at this time meows as if asking if she is really staying. Then the maid turns to the young lady and cries out that she is sorry because this should not have happened, and she thinks that her concern also has a limit, and it is natural that they love cats. The girls just wanted to see her. That's why they don't act so weird. The young lady at this time thinks that the girl is cute, and Irene was jealous that she was playing with other girls. While the maid claims that it doesn't work that way, even if she's in the form of a cat or a goddess, Ishtar can't she become her friend? The main character is surprised by this and understands that she never thought she would hear something like this from Aaron. Well then, the lady also thinks that although Aaron is young, well, she is a servant, and no one in this palace can openly enjoy their time. And it was Aaron who turned to her from the very beginning, so she is her best friend. The maid at this time asks how the cat thinks, and will it really make her feel better? But a little while later, she already claims that she will ask the librarian about the book that she mentioned earlier, and also asked if she would like to look at only the book that is written on paper, to which the girl agreed. After which, the maid tells her to wait a minute, because she will bring her the book right away. The young lady realizes that it is quite quiet and calm there, and she came to borrow the book that Aziz recommended to her last time. The guy claimed that these were old books, so they would have to go to the storage room and not the main library. And seeing that Aaron was late, the girl thought that was understandable, and he recommended a book that was pretty crazy. Well then someone turned to the cat and said, "Is she really in such a place?" The young lady turns around and realizes that it is the prince's entire voice, and also wonders why he appeared out of nowhere. The guy at this time apologizes for ruining her mood, and probably he surprised her too much, and the young lady thinks that this is happening again. And she shouldn't do this, but unconsciously the girl starts meowing in bliss. The main character realizes that this guy's skills with cats are simply amazing. The guy at this time asks if she has become much better, and the main character understands that this guy really pisses her off. The prince claims that she probably could not come to this place alone and asks if she has a companion, because how can someone leave a cat in such a place alone? The blonde also claims that she looks so helpless, and it doesn't matter if she is there for security, but it is dangerous, because what is she even thinking about? The young lady then thinks that she came for a book and didn't know that it would take so long. Aaron's thoughts were probably filled with the feeling that she had a mission to save the book. Well, the girl then wondered what the prince was thinking about. He looks very angry, so the young lady wonders if everything is okay with him. The guy at this time claims that if it were him, he would order a cat that belongs to his brother. But this is not true at all. After all, she is most likely his brother's favorite cat, which means he somehow owns her, so he wants the girl to be on his side. Young Lydia is surprised by this and wonders what he is talking about, after which the guy only claims that he is of course joking, and also thinks that the bass stunned her. The young lady then thinks, is this a joke? After which she also thinks, is it not obvious? And thinks, why does he have such a face as if he is surprised? The guy at this time turns to the kitten and claims that he does not know why, but these feelings calm him down. And it is simply rare to be near her in this royal palace is good. The guy also claims that the cats are the same for him, so if they meet again in the next life, then he asks her to meet again, after which the guy brings the cat closer to his face. The main character wonders what he is doing, and he just kisses her. The young lady immediately moves away and meows, as if asking what he is doing. But at the same moment, she begins to feel bad and realizes that she has a headache. The girl thinks why this is happening again, and also remembers Suleiman. A little while later, the young lady wakes up and wonders what it is, and whether she was able to turn into a human after kissing Theron. The young lady also wonders if Suleiman is the only thing that can trigger the transformation. And how could this even happen? That time she was looking for a book in the library, and by an unfortunate chance, she came across Theron. After his kiss, her body was seized with hellish pain. Suleiman's kiss was strange, but still strikingly different, because everything was as if in a fog, and yet she felt an unusual energy throughout her body. The main character also thinks that if someone finds out that she can turn from kissing other people, then political strife cannot be avoided. This could be a huge blow to Suleiman's reputation, especially considering that the magic code from the prophecy, according to legend, is intended to elect a person worthy of the throne. That transformation via kiss could rightly be seen as an endorsement of Theron's candidacy, so she should keep the incident a secret. The prince at this time enters the room and asks if the little window has woken up yet, and also wonders if he should call her Ishtar. And by the way, he would like her to address him by name, and think that the cat has just turned into a man. The main character at this time claims that before she explains everything to him, she would like to clarify something. And firstly, she is waiting for an apology for his sudden kiss, because she did not want it. The guy then says that she is right, and whether she is a human or an animal is not important, because he should not have approached her with kisses without permission. And he asks to forgive him for his rudeness. Only the guy wonders if she really needs someone's kiss for transformation, to which the girl replies that she doesn't know what, and unfortunately can't answer his curiosity. The prince smiles after this, and believes that this is the reason why his brothers keep the ladies so close to them. But he had long ago begun to guess that she needed her human form. Otherwise, why would she turn to a cat again? The girl wonders if he would really intimidate her with this, and what should she do? And the guy claims that, frankly speaking, he is glad that the lady appeared before him as a human being, because it is a great honor for him. The main character then realizes that she had already thought that he would use this information against her, after which the girl wonders if she was wrong. And she needs to dig deeper to find out, because the only thing that can be said at the moment is that this guy doesn't look like a bad guy, so she thinks that she should still ask him not to reveal her secret. The girl also tells him to listen, because she has a very important request for him, Well, at that very moment, someone tells His Highness that Roxolana has come to him and is wondering whether to let her in. The main character thinks how bad the timing is, and the guy says that he is changing clothes, so let them ask him to wait a little after, which he also says that the girl should go there quickly, because she needs to be hidden. A little while later, the woman comes into the room and says that she and her son haven't seen each other for a long time, and also asks if he doesn't think it's rather rude of him to so hopelessly forget about his bored mother. The guy apologizes and claims that a lot of time has indeed passed, but the woman is only interested in who he looks like and what's wrong with his clothes. And she knows perfectly well that he is not one of those who designs daytime sleep. So how could he have missed his peace and a woman, and in broad daylight at that? Well, the guy then asks if his mother said that she doesn't care what he does, after which the woman tells him to leave the child and worry about him. And he needs a faithful companion, so how long is he going to fool around? And let the dear one take the trouble to explain himself. After all, by the way she keeps looking at him, and it seems to her that there is something that he really wants to dine his mother. The main character is in the closet at this time and realizes that she has poor hearing and cannot understand what they are talking about. A little while later, she hears in fragments that the cargo will be delivered to the capital in the next 10 minutes. And the girl understands that if they stood at least a little closer and spoke a little louder, she could hear. There is a high probability that this information is secret, and yet the girl understands that she must find a way to get out of there. At this time, the blonde says how happy she is to hear such wonderful news from him, and yet she shouldn't make them wait too long, because he understands what she's talking about. After which, the guy suggests that they interrupt their conversation, and mother should know that even walls have ears. Well, the woman then wonders who the guy is trying to deceive, and does he really think that his mother doesn't know that he even got rid of her comrades? The guy then says that from now on, he will make sure to visit her more often, and the mother can't even imagine how much he misses her. The woman then says that let him take into account that she is only waiting for good news, because otherwise he may not show up. At this time, the main character hears someone approaching the lid of the cafe and thinks that she is probably going there. So what should she do? Well, then the prince opens the closet and addresses the lady cat. However, the girl only clutches her head and starts crying. The guy then asks if she is okay, and the young lady claims that she is afraid of dark, narrow spaces. The blonde claims that he didn't know that mother would come and apologize to the lady, and the main character thinks that it's good, and he doesn't know that she was eavesdropping on their conversation, but it's dangerous to stay there. After which the young lady thanks him, but claims that she needs to go. The prince says that it is not worth it, and that it is better for her to rest. However, the lady claims that everything is fine, and she wants to ask him for a favor, after which the main character asks him to keep a secret, that she was with him, and that she can transform. The guy wonders why, and is the lady really worried that Suleiman will get angry? But the main character replies that he is not such a person, after which the blonde says that he would not be so sure. The girl then claims that, frankly speaking, she does not want to create problems because she is from the prophecy, and if it turns out that there are two of those whose kiss helps her turn, whether he wants it or not, she will be involved in a huge scandal. The guy then says that this is for sure, and if this is the lady's desire, then so be it. A little while later, the maid, already with tears in her eyes, says that she has already decided that the lady is lost. The main character, in the form of a cat, meows, as if asking Arin not to cry. The maid at this time only says that she was so worried, and even thought that she had been kidnapped. But what would she have done if she had not returned? The main character, after Togo strokes the maid, and she immediately hugs Ishtar. The young lady thinks that she is terribly ashamed, but it is important, and all this is for errands. Well, the girl also thinks whether she should tell the maid that she addressed you as a person. Well, then the young lady thinks that it is better not to do this, because if she tells her, then this information will certainly reach Suleiman, because these two are far from the closest family relations, so she does not want to make things worse by accident. The girl also thinks that whatever it was, she and Thuran kissed, and what else can she say? A little while later, someone turns to Ishtar and tells her to wake up. It turns out to be the Sultan, and he claims that they haven't seen each other for a long time, and also asks how she is doing. The guy also picks up the fabric lying on the bed and wonders if these are his clothes. The main character immediately jumps up from this and does not know what to do, and also understands that if she had known that he would come today, she would have cleaned it. A little while ago, she was scratching the Sultan's closet, and the maid asked if the cat wanted her to get clothes for her. But now the guy just picks up the cat and hugs her, and also says that he misses her. The main character realizes that she thought he would be angry, but he acts so nicely that the girl thinks how cool he is, after which she screams and he apologizes and claims that he was very glad to see her. The young lady thinks that no, and in fact she is glad to see him. But frankly speaking, she even missed him more than he did. But this feeling, she can't say whether she should tell him that she is glad. The Sultan at this time claims that he wanted to see her, so he came as quickly as he could. And the work has just piled up that he had to go straight to the official residence. So when he finishes work, he suggests having dinner together. The guy also thinks that he won't have time to look there later and wonders if she can take on her human form. Then they kiss, and the girl regains her human form. She also claims that she was so upset after being scolded. But when she lifts the blanket from herself, she realizes that Suleiman has already left, after which the girl hits the pillow. And he cries out that he can't just leave having said everything he wanted. After all, she had been through so much while he was gone. And the girl asks if she was the only one who thought that he would wait for her. A little while later, the young lady realizes that she needs to calm down because she was simply happy about such a long-awaited meeting. The reason she's acting so strange now is because it's been too long since they've had dinner together. And the girl then looks at herself and also thinks that today she looks better. But then the young lady thinks that she really likes it, but this is not the same feeling. At this time, one of the maids claims that things have arrived from Chimbain, and also asks whether to take them to the room. Aran then says that it is unbelievable, and she thought that they had already arrived. The main character at this time asks if she is talking about the chambers, after which the maid answers that, yes, Chamban is a place where clothes are sewn only for members of the royal family or high-ranking officials who live in the palace. The main character wonders why and whether they do not sell clothes outside the palace, to which the girl replies that there are also many famous shops outside the palace, but these live right in the palace, and most of the nobility prefer clothes from Chimban. She heard that there were beautiful fabrics there that you couldn't buy for money, as well as several famous designers. She thinks her new summer dress has arrived, so she goes and gets it. The main character, looking at how many dresses and jewelry are worn, there asks what it all is. The maid claims that summer is coming soon, so she ordered several types of fabrics and decorations. The main character then says that besides, she is not of royal blood, and even more so, she does not know whether there is any point in giving her something like that. Well, the maid claims that this was Suleiman's request, and the Sultan gave special permission. But the main character thinks to fly normally to enjoy the favor. A little while later, the teacher tells Ishtar that this is all for today. He also bangs his hand on the table, which frightens the girl, and Aziz claims that for some reason, it seems to him that today her thoughts were completely different. He also wonders if the lady is worried about something, and she doesn't even know how to say it, after which she thinks that he will give her an even bigger task, and they understand that, of course not. The young lady says that she means the veil and will no longer wear it within the palace, after which the guy says that she can do as she wishes. The young lady then says that this is surprising because she thought that he did not like it when she was insulted. Aziz argues that otherwise it would be better to create more noise in the palace now. And in fact, everything is already fine because Suleiman kicked them all out, which makes the young lady surprised and wonders if he really wants to say that he kicked them out because of her. Aziz claims that it is because Ishtar has always been the prince's priority. On the other hand, he was kind to Ishtar and also knew that she would be embarrassed because of them. The main character then realizes that she has not paid enough attention to Suleiman until recently, because she planned to leave without any regrets, and she thought that he only thinks about her in this way, so the girl thinks that she is confused and does not know what to do now. And also the truth does not know what to do. Well, then the girl also thinks that what worries her most. But then the young lady thinks that she has really gone crazy. At this time, the teacher turns to Lady Ishtar. He asks if she is okay, because there is a lady who does not want to talk, then there is no need. The girl replies that it is nothing to worry about, and also says that she will continue. The main character claims that she felt spiritual powers received from Ashtar. The same thing happened on the night His Majesty was crowned. The man claims that it is a very interesting story, And also the fountain called the Blessing of Ashtar was built here, at the same time as the palace, and in fact, it is the most ordinary fountain, but if you activate it, you can get holy water that contains powers. The young lady says that this is probably why she was so attached to the source, and the man believes that her awakening happened at the same time. After which he also says that now that they started talking about this important matter, he felt a little sad. But the young lady claims that Aziz has many suspicious ideas, and she doesn't even know what to believe. The young lady then says that Ishtar has become herself now, and he likes it. But the girl claims that this is not all. After all, she was not sitting idle. After which she points to the books, the man says that this is enough, after which the young lady wonders if it is not time to start training. Aziz asks what exactly the girl wants to start with, to which she replies that she first wants to study the sacred powers. Ishtar claims that she wants to learn how to use them and can't just sit and wait for someone to come to the rescue, so she must rely on herself. The guy smiles after this and says that this is great, because now Ishtar has enough motivation, and since she says so, they should increase the number of lessons. So let the girl take care of him as her teacher. Once again, the girl understands that she brought herself to this. A little while later, she asks the maid if she is sure that this is a personal library, to which she replies that yes, this is one of His Majesty's secret places. Ishtar realizes that she thought it was a small library, since there is no one there, and she feels a little uncomfortable. Arin then says that therefore the mistress can look around, and she will wait for her at the entrance. The main character says that it is good, and thanks the maid. She also understands that she has a little time, until he returns, so she can look for what she needs. Then the girl notices one of the books about the empire, and thinks what it is, after which she picks it up. And when she opens it, she notices some scribbles inside. Well, then the young lady understands that these are not scribbles, but the handwriting of a child. And maybe Suleiman wrote this in childhood, after which the girl smiles and thinks how cute it is. Well, then a cassock comes up to her from behind and asks what she is looking at. The young lady gets scared and loses her balance. And Suleiman picks her up and claims that it is dangerous because the girl could get hurt. The young lady looks at Suleiman and then realizes that this situation has become very risky, and at this rate, she will really go crazy. The man then wonders if the lady is hurt, but she replies that she is fine, so he can let her go. The girl also understands that she has Garrett face. At this time, the Sultan picks up the book and claims that he was looking for it. Ishtar asks if he read this book when he was a child. Suleiman replies that he hasn't seen her for a long time, so he even missed her. The girl then draws attention to her handwriting and says that it's unrecognizable. The guy claims that when he was a child, he wrote very crookedly, and he also remembers how teachers scolded him while they tried to correct it. Ishtar says she thinks it's a bit hard for children, but the Sultan claims that the prince receives all kinds of education from childhood, and he read it when he was 10 years old. The main character thinks that this book is the same thickness as a university book. The Sultan claims that this is less than other princes. His mother did not make him study much, but she was stricter in other things. For example, she was extremely interested in his training in martial arts and participating in fights. And she said that you can't become a good commander-in-chief using only your head. The main character then thinks, was this body really created for this? And after all, a man must have a good physique. The girl also understands that he has been looking at her all this time and wonders why he is looking at her like that. The Sultan claims that it seems like this is the first time she has worn this dress and that it has unusual embroidery, so it was probably brought from abroad. The girl replies that she took this dress to the Ichimban, and since it was already ready, the lady wanted to wear it, after which she asks if it suits her. The guy replies that yes, and this dress is as beautiful as her eyes. The main character then gets embarrassed and claims that he said it so suddenly, after which she also simply suggests going out to eat, to which Suleiman agrees, but he claims that there seems to be one problem, after which the main character looks out the window and sees that the sun is already quite low. Ishtar understands that this morning he returned her to human form too early, and perhaps he does not have much time left for a quiet dinner. At this point, the man asks if she is upset, after which the young lady only smiles and says that Aaron told her that they would serve very tasty fish today. Well, it's all right, because she heard that today they would prepare something for the cats too, just in case. The Sultan then smiles and approaches Ishtar and also turns to her and tells the girl to put it down, after which he moves closer and kisses the young lady. A little while later, the two are already sitting at the table. The Sultan tells Ishtar not to rush because there is enough food there, but the girl is angry, and he wonders if he is really asking her to restrain herself when there is so much food in front of her. Her entire past life was spent studying and working part-time, and in the end, she fell into an eternal sleep alone. And it was her first kiss. The girl also thinks that it is not fair even if they kiss every morning. That's something else. And she doesn't know for what purpose the prince kissed her. But now the lady takes a glass of wine and drinks it in one go, and also tells her to pour her another drink. Well, the guy then asks if there is something she doesn't like, but the young lady only addresses the prince, after which he suggests calling him by name, and the girl does so. After which she tries to talk about the kiss, but it still doesn't work. That's why she says it's okay and understands that it's not a problem, because this guy is handsome and has a great body. Suleiman took her first kiss, but he smiles so relaxed that the girl thinks that he is a real villain. The guy looking at the young lady is surprised, after which he even approaches her, and also supports the girl with his hand so that she does not fall on the table. One of the servants asks whether to take her to the cassock room, but he answers no, and he will do it himself, after which he takes the girl in his arms and invites her to go. Well, the young lady just screams for him to return her first kiss. Then the Sultan is shocked. One of the servants barely holds back from laughing. A short time later, the doctor claims that her body produces few enzymes that break down alcohol, which is why she gets drunk so easily. And her body is not used to it, after which the main character thinks that Togo can't be, because she calmly drank 2 bottles of soju. The girl was used to drinking a lot in her past life, and in this one, she falls off her feet after a couple of glasses. At this time, the prince asks how the lady feels, after which she says that her whole body is burning, but it is probably just a slight fever, after which the guy approaches her and offers to check. He puts his hand on the young lady's forehead. Then he says that he is hot and that it is too much for a normal hangover. The main character of the examination of the Sultan thinks that he is too close, after which she claims that she is fine and not sick, because it is because of alcohol. The guy at this time thinks how cute it is, and he can't say for sure, but it seems like everything overlapped and he was worried that something had happened, after which the man dips the towel in water and wipes the young lady's face. The main character then turns to Suleiman, and she asks why he smiles like that because it's unnerving, but the guy says that it's just the first time he sees her like this. The young lady is surprised by this, and the Sultan thinks that it is funny, after which he thinks that he will tease her a little more, and also move a little closer. He would like to help her wipe her wet face, and then kiss her eyes and blushing cheeks. But still, you need to be patient, otherwise he will scare his cat. The girl at this time tells him not to joke about her like that, and the guy realizes that he can no longer hold back from pretending that he simply cares about her. Well, he still thinks why when he is with Ishtar, who becomes a completely different person, and he feels like there's something black curled up in his stomach, and he loves her even more than he thought. At this time, the main character asks why the guy is looking at her like that and remains silent, and he understands that he must keep this a secret, after which he rises from his seat and states that it is time for him to return. If the girl gets a fever, she should immediately call the doctor. Ishtar agrees, after which the Sultan turns to her again. He also kisses her hand and claims that he will try to return to her as quickly as possible. A little while later, the man already sees a mountain of documents in the office. He also sends a letter with the help of a hawk and talks with business partners. After that, he realizes that he works so much, but still has more work to do, and he can't even dream of rest. At this time, a knight also comes to Suleiman and addresses him, and also states that the master needs to see something here. A little while later, the guy is already looking at the arrowhead, and the knight claims that it was found at the scene. The tip is made of stable sneaker material, and it is quite long and sharp. The arrow seemed to be designed to poison, rather than put him into eternal sleep, and he checked that the poison was made from a plant called aconite. At this time, Suleiman thinks that it seems that just this one word can make him feel bad, after which he claims that the hit caused an instant immersion into eternal sleep, and that this is such a shame. He also asks if the guy says that the poison is made from a flower, to which Ivlan replies that it is not the audience or the snakes, but from a plant that is difficult to grow. The man then says that they need to find the source, and asks if anyone survived, after which the guy claims that most of them independently entered into eternal sleep. The Sultan realizes that perhaps he was not a swordsman, but was saved by poison. And it is so pitiful, after which the man says that it is disgusting, and squeezes his wound a little, after which red liquid begins to come out of it. The knight points out His Highness's wound, and he only suggests that he bring new clothes. After all, when she sees this, she will definitely be scared. And he will worry, after which Suleiman only smiles, and also claims that he will interrogate the survivors personally. So let him bring a priest to cure them. The guy also understands that normally he would fix everything as it should be, but as he continues to be exposed to danger, Ishtar's situation worsens, so he must protect her at any cost. Then the guy also hits the wall with his fist, and he says that this time they will definitely find the culprit. At this time, Blondinock is in her garden, after which she asks if this means that the prince has returned unharmed. Then the shadow replies that yes, and the guy is wondering if he has used his old tricks again, and he always loses, but never learns anything. The guy also turns to one of the servants and asks if there is any news from the guild, to which he replies that there was recently a dispute over the rights to black market goods. And the guy says that they are so funny because he doesn't even think about who will be next on the list. But the higher the reputation, the more people will know about them, and he becomes even more powerful. One of the bows claims that after 5 days, it became known that the ship had docked in the port of Vinta. And the guy with a smile on his face claims that he can finally give it to his mother. But sometimes you have to be a good son. After which he asks if this is true. The guy then remembers how his mother said that Theron must become a sultan at any cost, because this is the only way to survive in this palace. And to take revenge, the guy does not know, but he must try to fight. He also remembers how his mother said to hell with it all, and she also hates this kingdom that made her so unhappy. The guy understands that sometimes he feels sorry for his mother, because love is a terrible thing, and it is very sad when your feelings are not reciprocated. And the guy thought he would never understand this, but now he understands that for the first time he has become so greedy. After which, he also thinks that maybe he should have taken her back. Then, it's awkward to keep these feelings in his heart when this girl belongs to his brother, but he feels good and thinks it's strange. After all, even if the girl was not a real cat from the prophecy, she was still attached to him. Well, this can be changed at any moment, but this guy claims that it would be better if the arrow hit this sultan, and also tells his brother what a pity it is. And also let the guy try to make sure that this girl is not taken away from him, because he will take everything from him himself. At this time, the main character is thinking about what happened to this guy, because at first he was so cold, and then he became kinder. And after going to the market, he distanced himself from her. And now, after his absence, he behaves as if he decided to give her love. But in any case, people understand that she is a cat, and isn't it obvious that the Sultan should take care of her? After which the girl screams out that she doesn't know. And in her thoughts, she adds that she's simply trying to suppress feelings that resemble affection. However, if he is persistent, it will be difficult to restrain himself. At this time, someone picks up the cat and then addresses her, and also asks what is troubling her, after which the girl understands that she will not say and climb on the Sultan's head. He just smiles and says that he has something. After all, he was going to give it to her, but he thinks that the girl won't like it. The main character is only happy after this, and the guy says how quick she is, after which he claims that he came to say something, because it seems that she spends too much time in the palace, and it's worth breathing more fresh air. So if she doesn't mind, they can go for a walk tomorrow. After which, the Sultan asks what she will say, and the young lady only agrees. A little while later, the two go out into the street. Suleiman says he hopes the lady will like it, but a window in his mind warns him that she is still angry, and he also wonders if he really thinks she'll be friendly just because they're there. But then the main character looks at the magnificent landscape and is surprised because it is very beautiful there. The girl claims that it is amazing and that it is the first time she has seen such a stunning landscape. She also meows as if thanking the Sultan for bringing her there. But then she notices that he moves away a little. The Sultan says that there is nothing special there. Well, the girl immediately tells him to let her see. But the guy then says that it is not necessary, after which the young lady screams at him not to move and moves his clothes away. After which she sees a wound there. The guy claims that the wound is so big because of the poison, and there are no bruises, so she doesn't have to worry. But the main character then wonders if this really happened after the trip, and she's sure the guy got treatment when he returned, but I spread so much that it must be very painful for him. The girl also thinks how he can remain so calm, and even though she is so close, she cannot believe that she did not notice anything. That's why the main character thinks how stupid she is, after which he starts crying. The guy claims that if he knew it would happen, he would have said so earlier after, which he claims that it's a trifle, so she shouldn't worry. The girl meows as if asking if this is true, to which the guy replies that yes, and he is resistant to most poisons. And yet the young lady thinks it hurts, and the Sultan claims that, besides, he doesn't want her to worry because he is there because of her. Ishtar understands that if you think about it, Suleiman periodically has attacks, but the girl also remembers that she was able to help her. Then maybe now it will work too? Ishtar also wonders if her power only affects the curse, and what will happen if she touches a bigger wound. The girl also thinks that if she knew that this would happen, she would train harder. But then she realizes that she needs to think carefully because she has learned the basics of using the power of the goddess, and this power comes from faith and hope, so maybe she can ease the pain. After which, the girl realizes that she has nothing to lose and puts her paw on the guy's earlier, which makes him a little surprised. The girl understands that although it is because of him that she is sad, these last days, Suleiman is her butler and friend, so she asks for the wound to stop hurting. Then the power starts to work, and the guy's wound is healed. He also claims that the pain has completely disappeared, and the main game does not understand that she still succeeded. The Sultan claims that the arrow wound has completely healed, and it is incredible. The main character thinks that, and she is a genius. After which, the guy thanks his goddess of luck, and the main character thinks that it seems she likes the Sultan more than she thought. A little while later, the girl lies in bed and thinks that she has never fallen in love, and the prince is the first one she liked. The girl thinks that, in fairy tales, it is so romantic, but in reality, it is ballast. But then she also wonders what if he feels the same, and if they can be together, but he might have multiple girlfriends. And if the Sultan wants, he can create a whole harem, but she who came from the modern world will never accept this. In any case, she can only hope for a light romantic adventure. But worse than that, what will happen to her plan to help him and Harem? And also to quickly get out of the palace. The girl then says that nothing has happened yet, but she is already worried. But at that very moment, someone knocks on the room. And also apologizes for disturbing. The girl wonders if it is Aziz, and then asks if they have a morning lesson planned too, which the guy replies that if he hadn't answered, he felt the power of the goddess at dawn. And also wonders if something happened, after which the main character realizes that Suleiman had a serious wound, and she healed it. The guy claims that the poison was so strong that it was difficult for him to treat it. So how did she manage it? The girl replies that she simply did what the goddess taught her in her dream, and she remembers it a little poorly. The guy claims that she was chosen by the goddess, however the girl has poor control over her power, and the magic used a few hours ago was excessive. The young lady asks if this is really true, since she didn't know, after which the guy claims that it is, because she hasn't learned how to handle her yet. Just being next to Suleiman, the girl spent a lot of energy, and if it were not for the power of the goddess, it would have been difficult. But Ishtar claims that she doesn't do anything like that during normal times, and yet the guy suggests that she be careful. After all, the prince won't be able to stand it if she falls into eternal sleep in his arms. After which the guy claims that they will see each other at the evening lesson. A little while later, the girl is already meditating and realizes that she thought her powers would develop faster. Well, now she can't help it anymore from boredom and is wondering if meditation really will help in any way. The teacher claims that she already has everything for this, and an ordinary priest would have to train his whole life to use such power. And the lady just needs to think about it, and the girl wonders if this means that she doesn't need to meditate. But the guy claims that her advantage can turn into a failure. And after all, as soon as Lady Ishtar masters control over the mind, she will quickly learn to fully control her power. The girl then thinks that she has been lacking confidence lately, after which she also turns to Aziz and asks what he has in his hands. And the guy claims that the last thing he has today is practice, so he brought this little one. The main character, looking at this cat, thinks how cute he is, and Aziz claims that he is being taken care of in the temple, and how the lady sees that he has a congenital disease, and this is different from what she has encountered. He would like to see if the lady can cure him. The main character then says that he is so small, after which he claims that he will try to do this, and the teacher claims that it is in order to use divine power. First of all, one must have will and a strong mind, but desire alone is not enough. The power of the goddess is based on water, and it is the flow of life. So let the lady feel the energy of the air of the trees and the sky around her and cleanse her body. Then uses this power. The young lady thinks that if she heard this before, she would have thought how strange it was, but she had already tried using the power when she met Ashtar. Therefore the lady understands that she can and begins to use this power, after which the cat is healed. The main character turns to the baby and asks if he is okay, after which she thinks that it worked. The cat only licks the young lady, and the main character asks if the teacher saw it. After all, this cat is completely healthy, and the allergy will return to her. Well, then she sees the surprised expression on Aziz's face, and asks if he is okay, after which the guy comes out of his thoughts about the young lady and wonders if something is wrong. And maybe she used the force incorrectly, after which the guys answer that, no, and it looks like everything is fine with the kitten. Well, the main character thinks why he had such a reaction. The guy only asks him to forgive him because he showed the lady his stupidity, but he really is surprised. Besides the traumas of internal wounds and curses, he did not know that congenital diseases can be cured. Ishtar then think about whether he really expected her failure, after which the guy claims that, besides, he hasn't seen her image for a long time. The main character asks if he is talking about the image of the goddess, and the guy replies that no, and he is an ordinary priest, so he is not given the opportunity to meet the goddess. He also thanks the lady for healing the baby, because the children of the temple love him very much. The girl then claims that if another kitten is sick, she will cure it. And the guy at this time remembers how someone claimed that he should let her know if someone gets sick, because she will cure everyone. After which he claims that Lady Ishtar is indeed a kind person. At this time, the Sultan thinks about a special tip that holds a strong poison that can seriously injure with a light touch. It is difficult to obtain, and there is only one person capable of doing this, but he still cannot be caught. The mercenaries' testimony, they searched the black market and found out the source of distribution. Verhan is behind all this. This man is Theron's uncle, and he had a bad reputation, so he decided to clean up his act by joining Roxolana's family. Despite the risk, it is a shield that can be used in extreme cases, after which the Sultan thanks at least for not attacking the palace. He also turns to Yevlan and asks if he has found out anything about the trading place. The guys answer that yes, they say that it is located between the berths of cargo ships. It looks like they'll find Dieter there. Another servant asks if the guy means the biggest black market trader. The guy replies that yes, and a shadow magnate, whose influence is spread throughout the kingdom, as well as in neighboring countries. These people appeared 5 years ago and established themselves as the largest guild and became a problem. The Sultan then says that this is great and let them act carefully, after which the guy claims that there is, and they will be careful. Suleiman also wonders what is going on with the weapons, to which one of the servants replies that the dock is small, so most likely not. But His Highness claims that perhaps they trade here, and if their goal is to transport weapons, then this place is not far away. So they can split up and start searching, and if they find anything suspicious, they should report it to him immediately. A little while later, someone tells the Sultan that it looks like they were brought from other countries. The regulation of the arms trade has become strict, so it is delivered from abroad, and judging by the scale, this is big business. The guy realizes that this is a black market guild, and they not only deal with competitors, but also deal with private cooperation. In the end, it is the civilians who suffer. So the man claims that today they will attack them and destroy everything, and also expose Verhan's conspiracy, after which the guy tells them to surround the perimeter and make sure they capture the main conspirators. A little while later, one man claims that he doesn't know who these people are, but they look very important. He also claims that he will provide the required quantity, so let them decide on a date as soon as possible, after which he agrees and states that they hope for further cooperation, and the Sultan waves his hand. After which he screams that now, and they begin the attack. Then, the man with the suitcases of gold coins screams for the ward to stop them. He runs away and screams for the leader to be protected, but then the Sultan attacks him, causing the man to fall. And then he sees a sword near his neck. Suleiman says that it's all over. The man then says he's a monster and asks about the deal, but his interlocutor replies that he'd better watch his words. After all, he will tell them everything he knows, after which the man says no and uses some kind of artifact. It starts to glow, and then there is an explosion. Evelyn screams in shock to the gentleman and asks if he is okay, while the man claims that he is safe, after which he also says that the merchant has already fallen into eternal sleep and also asks what happened to the guild. The knight replies that there are no traces left and asks what they should do. The man then tells them to take the dead bodies to the cells and also bring records of the entrances and exits of the port over the past week. After all, they must find at least one clue. A little while later, someone informs the gentleman that all the participants of today's deal have fallen into eternal sleep. The man then asks what happened to the cargo, to which the servant replies that they say the cart with the goods is heading to the kingdom. The guild members committed suicide with an exploding magic stone, but they took the cargo and can find clues, so the guy asks what they should do. But this man tells him to forget about it because they have moved several times, and they will not be caught. And yet he's such a pain in the ass that he'll send this guy a gift. It would be nice to create a few incidents in the capital, so that they don't worry about such a trifle, after which the servant claims that he will do as the master orders. The guy with blonde hair tells him to get on with it and find new people with a smart leader, because he hates unnecessary noise. A little while later, the main character and the Sultan are sitting at the table with Harem. The woman claims that she heard the news, and the girl helps in the stables and in the kitchen, where outsiders are not allowed to enter, so everyone is grateful. The main character replies that she was just doing what she had to do. The girl also notices the cat in the Sultan'S hands, and he says that, by the way, this cat is very handsome, after which he asks how old he is, to which the woman replies that he is well over 15, and this is her first animal, which appeared when Suleiman was born. Since they grew up together, this coat is also special for him, but due to old age, he can no longer walk, but before he loved to run everywhere. The main character then says that if the woman doesn't mind, then can she take a look? The girl also understands that he hasn't walked for a long time, and his backside is hard as a rock, although if you use force, you can help him. After which, the main character uses it, and the cat rises to its feet and then runs away. The woman says that this is unthinkable, and she cannot believe her eyes, because seeing this gold running again is wonderful. Therefore, Kiyurim thanks Ishtar. The main character says that there is nothing to thank her for, and she can turn to her. But then the woman claims that, frankly, she has a favor to ask of the young lady. She doesn't know if the girl heard, but recently there has been an attack in the capital, and it is causing a lot of damage and also affecting many people. Unfortunately, there are not enough treatment centers in the kingdom yet, and the main character wonders if the lady wants to ask her for help. The woman claims that it would be great if the girl could cure people, but at that moment, the Sultan stretches out his hand in front of her and screams that no way. After all, he can't put anyone in danger, and that's unacceptable. The woman then smiles and tells Ishtar that she needs to talk to Suleiman alone, so she asks if she'll wait a minute. When these two are left at the table, the woman asks her son if he likes this girl. The guy then thinks about it and realizes that a simple feeling of sympathy will not explain the passion in his heart. After all, he wants to protect this girl and see her bright smile, and it also seems to him that he is going crazy when he sees her tears and sadness. Someday, a girl will meet the one and will look tenderly into his eyes. It is an amazing, ironic feeling, and it is wrong to reject it. That's why the guy claims that it's not enough to say that he likes her, because he values her more than anything in this world. Harem asks if the guy knows the weight of his words, to which he replies that he does. And the woman claims that he doesn't understand how difficult they are, because if he values her, then let her give him the opportunity to show herself. If this girl is dear to him only because of her beauty, then you can't call it falling in love. The guy then claims that he can at least protect her, but the woman screams that this is nonsense, and if he really wants to claim the throne, then he should slow down and look at reality. Let Ishtar show the world and give her wings so she can fly away. If the girl wants to be with him, she will stay forever, and only then can he really be with her. Well, this girl is special because you never know what danger's waiting around the corner. But you can't lock her in a palace like a cage because it's wrong. Later, he will understand everything himself, after which the woman says that she thinks she will rest today because she does not want to hear his grumbling. So let him go already, to which the guy agrees. The main character a little while later looks at her reflection and thinks the same thing. Suleiman doesn't like this, and probably it's because her status now is that of a house cat. At this time, the Sultan turns to the young lady, and she asks if they have finished, and also what he talked about with Kurimi. The guy replies that about that matter, after which he asks whether the girl trained with the teacher to treat people for something, and replies that yes, and her skills are at their best. If something happens and hurts, well then the girl screams that suddenly he got hurt again. The guy replies that it's nothing special, and it's an old wound, but now everything is fine. The girl also thinks that it was hard for him to lean on him after that. The guy is then a little surprised and asks Ishtar what is going on, but the girl just rips his clothes, after which he begins to use his power and tells him not to get sick, and also hopes that he will be okay, after which the guy realizes that his wound has healed. He also lifts the young lady into his arms, which surprises her, and the guy replies that it's good, and for her sake he will do anything after talking with Cure. The girl visited the temple with Aziz. Of course, there was a stir when the stranger became a priest, but after a test demonstration of her abilities, the discontent died down. Horror froze in the people's eyes, and then the girl realized what a frightening power she had received. But by the way, she thinks what difference does it make, whether she is a witch or an angel from the world of gods? The young lady also turns to the teacher and asks if he hears those strange rumors that are going around the palace, to which the boys answer that it is possible. But people have always loved to gossip. But the girl wonders what if, because of this, it will gradually be revealed that she is a cat. However, the guy then asks Lady Ishtar how she thinks it means to be sent by a goddess. The girl replies that it means being an ornament next to the Sultan. The guy replies that it is an interesting statement, and people say that the cat from the prophecy is a sacred animal. Well, the young lady thinks that this is nonsense, after which the guy claims that now is not the right time to reveal the truth. If it turns out that the cat from the prophecy is a person, this will lead to great confusion, and the lady will face many temptations. The young lady then claims that she has already decided that she will help Suleiman and will not change her decision, to which the guy replies that, unfortunately, people will think so, and they will make every effort to attract her attention, and no one knows where this will all lead. The young lady replies that he is right, after which the guy claims that her holy power is incomparable to anything. Previously, it would have been enough for her to be recognized as a saint, and if someone wanted to use her for harm, the main character asks if he is talking about the saint, and she hears about it for the first time, after which the guy shudders, and the young lady thinks what is wrong with him, after which she asks about it. And the guy claims that in short, if she wants to help the temple healers, then she will have to control herself. So he suggests training even harder, which frightens the young lady. That same evening, she lies exhausted and wonders if she should really try even harder if she becomes a priest. At this time, the Sultan asks how the girl feels, after which she meows as if to say that everything is fine, and the Sultan understands that he misses her human form. Once the feeling flares up, it lights an indomitable fire in his thoughts, and he wants to tell her that he loves her, and also ask her to stay by his side. But he must let her do what the girl wants, because they say that this is the only way to create a real relationship, which means the flame should be invited. The man also tells Ishtar that he has no one to talk to, and sometimes he really wants a friend to be nearby. After which he asks if she would mind if they talked today, and right now, if possible, after which the main character thinks that this means that he will kiss her now. Yes. And in addition, if she changes her appearance, then she will remain human until the morning, and will have to do it again to last the whole day. The guy then says that as expected, it is somewhat difficult, and the main character thinks, what is he talking about? And that is not the point, after which she meows, as if asking the Sultan to listen. And Suleiman claims that he is right to appreciate that she is nearby, but he must be too greedy. And it's his own fault that he has no friends. The main character, Ottawa, just meows as if saying, okay, and let him do it already. To which the guy replies that as expected, he has no one except her, after which he thanks the lady, after which he kisses her, and the girl transforms into her human form. She also understands that the guy said that he wanted to talk, and he then claims that, yes, he pressed on her pity a little, but you shouldn't look at him like that. The young lady then asks if he was pretending, after which he replies that he was, and that he simply really wanted the girl to be in human form today. The main character only gets embarrassed after this and screams, Is he serious? But she thought that something happened. She also asks if he even knew how worried she was, after which the guy apologizes. But he pulls the girl closer to him and asks if she will fight anymore. The main character is a little surprised by this, and the guy claims that he is afraid that he would have to be taken to the priests if she continued to beat him, after which the two smile, and the guy claims that something is really bothering him, so let the girl stay with him today. The main character wonders what the matter is, and whether he has too much work, or is someone bothering him, after which she asks if something is bothering Suleiman, and if it is connected with Dieter. The guy is then a little surprised. And the girl claims that she doesn't know who he is, but she heard Theron and Roxolana's conversation earlier. They stood far away, and not everything was clear, only that he was going to send something to the capital, after which the girl says that maybe it is important. Suleiman then grabs the girl by the shoulder and asks what happened between her and Theron. The man thinks that his brother must have brought her closer to him in order to use her for political purposes. But then he thinks that if this is not so, and this guy has feelings for her, after which the Sultan's face is darker than this, the main characters do not answer, that there is nothing special. She also understands that now she feels like she is deceiving him, and it hurts her chest. But if she tells him that Theron can also turn her into a human, that would be a big blow to Suleiman's position. And besides, if she said that she once lost consciousness, he would worry, so she doesn't want to bother him anymore. The lady claims that she was walking in the garden and accidentally overheard, after which the guy asks if this is really so. And the young lady replies that yes, because she was in the form of a cat. The Sultan asks if this is really so, and the young lady wonders if he really thinks she is lying, after which the girl hugs the Sultan and apologizes for making him worry, but she just wants his work to go well. After which the young lady asks him not to be angry, but the guy only turns to Ishtar and claims that he understands. But next time, let her not approach this guy, because he is a dangerous person, even if you can't tell by him. Ishtar remembers how this guy claimed that he was sure that he was seeing her for the first time, but thinks that there is no mistake in the fact that he really is like that, and she herself does not want to show herself to him. The Sultan at this time claims that, as he thought, more guards should have been introduced to her, after which the young lady is surprised and claims that this will already fly in too much of a military, or 3 is quite enough. However, the guy replies that he won't do anything and asks if she really wants him to accompany her to the city, after which the girl only becomes embarrassed. The Sultan tells her to think about what is better, him or the guards, after which the guy also gets up from his place and claims that it is too late. So it's time to go to bed. The main character says that's right, and he should go to his room too. But he replies that he doesn't want to, after which he lays the young lady on the bed, and he hugs her, and also says that he will let her sleep like that in exchange for the lady telling him a good thing. After this, the main character says that then she will just lie down on the pillow because that will be right. But the guy says that it's better for her to try to fall asleep while he's hugging her, and they'll lie like that until she falls asleep. After which, the main character screams, wishing him good night, and the Sultan only smiles. A little while later, the guy gets up and realizes that the girl is sleeping so sweetly, after which he kisses her on the forehead, and he claims that he wants her to always be there. The guy understands that if she woke up during his confession, what would she say? And he is sure that these words would be burdensome for her. And besides, he's only getting help now. If Ishtar says she wants to leave, she won't be able to help him with the curse that might come back. But strangely enough, besides the pain, he is afraid that the girl will disappear one day. A little while ago, the woman asked her son if he knew what the lady asked her about. After all, others would have chosen land and wealth, but what she wanted was freedom. And if Ishtar could become happy in another place, with me next to him, would he let her go? The guy then thinks that even if Ishtar becomes free, will she stay with him, and what should he do? The Sultan wonders if he can be with her, after which he touches the young lady's face and tells her to wait a little longer, because he will work harder to become a man worthy of her. The Sultan also kisses the young lady, after which she smiles in her sleep and wishes her good night. A few days later, the day came when the girl decided to visit a treatment center in the capital, and fortunately, Suleiman agreed to provide her with security instead of going himself. One of the knights then asks the lady if she is looking for something. She answers that she is not, after which she turns to the maid and asks if she has seen the teacher. Arin replies that he did not come there. And his servant did give her something, after which the maid asked if the lady would look in the carriage. The main character then looks at the letter, which says that the lady worked hard to improve her abilities and did better than he expected. There is nothing more to teach her, so he praises her from the bottom of his heart. The young lady then understands that Aziz praised her, and this is even unexpected. And then it is written that from today on, she does not have to come to him, and henceforth it is better for the lady to learn about this world and herself independently. He will be gone for some time, so the guy hopes that the lady will overcome all the difficulties on her way, and he attaches a small gift that will delay her stay in the form of a cat. The young lady takes the magic stone out of the bag and thinks that, in other words, from now on, there is no help to be expected, and she must figure it out herself. The girl also says what an irresponsible teacher this is. But even a cat abandons her kittens to their fate when they reach a certain age, so that they learn to survive, and the girl thinks, is it really the same with her? But they could just meet and talk, so the girl thinks, why was it necessary to communicate such information through a letter? If you think about it, then the teacher was always emotional and excited. At times, he seemed worried, as if he had revealed a forgotten secret and hidden it, as if he was afraid that she would find out. So the girl claims that she will never understand a man who has lived for hundreds of years. But will she be able to get rid of sadness? A little while later, the servant claims that they have arrived. Evelyn helps the lady out and claims that this was originally the largest Ashtar temple in the capital. Currently, the number of patients has increased, and the Sultana has opened it to everyone. Behind this door is the heart of the hospital, and there are many wounded and sick people there. So after that, they are not afraid, after which the main character goes there and sees a terrible picture. One of the doctors screams that the patient is in critical condition, so let them go their separate ways. The main character then understands that she needs help and is going to go there, but the knight tells the lady that it is impossible because if she goes, she will see an unpleasant scene. But the young lady tells him to move away because she came there to help people. And why did they go all the way there then? At this time, one of the patients asks and claims that it doesn't matter what happens to her. The main thing is to save her child. Then the man says there is too much red liquid, so let the guy bring it more herbs, to which he agrees, and runs while the main character at this time heads towards the woman. Then the doctor asks who she is because only urgent patients are allowed there, and they should get out. But the young lady replies that she is not a patient but a priest from the palace and can cure this woman. Then the doctor steps away, but wonders if this young girl is a priest, and he doesn't believe it. But then the knight cries out that he is the governor of this city and also Suleiman's assistant. He guarantees the status of this girl. So since this is an emergency, let them refrain from rudeness. The main character at this time tells them to be quiet, but she needs to concentrate. After which, she mentally asks for the mother and child to be okay and uses her power, after which the wounds heal, and one of the priests in shock says that the red liquid has stopped, all the wounds have healed, so he asks, how is this even possible? The main character thinks what a blessing it is that she got it, and the woman asks if everything is okay with her baby. The main character answers that everything is okay with him, and after that, they don't worry, and also to focus on the treatment. Her mercy at all. At this time, one of the doctors claims that this is the first time he has heard of a priest who can heal any wound, and that this is some kind of miracle. A little while later, a man is already sitting in front of the young lady and asking for forgiveness for the late greeting, but he claims that his name is Darkhan, and that he is also the head of this treatment center and is glad to meet her. The lady surprised him because when he went out to meet her, he saw a blinding light, and the main character apologizes and also claims that the situation was urgent. The man tells the lady not to apologize and thanks her for her help, but the light was indeed too bright, so he asks if it could be hidden somehow. Ishtar understands that she was told to be careful, but she acted intuitively. The man then asks Lady Ishtar if she saw those who followed them. After all, they are the patient's relatives, and they are there for the lady to heal them. The man also claims that today they managed to send them back, but next time they will have to use force. Ishtar understands that she cannot treat many people yet, so she must be careful. The man at this time claims that he will first tell about the infirmary he sees, that initially it was small and divided into several parts under the control of the royal family. Recently, explosions have become more frequent all over the city, and more people have been injured in encounters with criminals. Due to the large number of injured, a treatment center was opened there. And when chaos reigns, children, women, and old people suffer, so frankly speaking. The situation in the capital is now terrible, and there is chaos everywhere. The main character then turns to Darkin and asks him to prepare data on the state of the infirmary. The man then says that it is fine, but wonders what the ladies are going to do. Ishtar replies that she has an idea Suleiman is fighting at this time, and understands that territorial struggle is so pointless. Unlike reputation, they disappoint him. After which, the guy tells Yevlan to sort out the area, to which the guy agrees. And the man also tells him to arrest and interrogate those who are alive, because the initiator of the riots needs to be found. After which, the guy nods, and Suleiman understands that they are the ones destroying the capital, and there must be a smart leader behind all this, because the balance of power is important, just like when the scales are tilted to the other side with a weight. This incident was caused by someone who knew the situation, and he turned it to his advantage by transferring the weight to the board, so Suleiman felt as if an invisible hand was playing with him. Taking on the role of governor, he analyzed the data on criminals clearly associated with Roxolana, but he only managed to find out the name of the guild. After the last incident at the port, everything seemed to have cleared up, but their identity remained a mystery again. A little while ago, the knights informed the master that information had been received, that the head of Diather was alive. They cleared everything out, and some started talking before the interrogation, after which the man asks what they said about the guy. They answer that about a month ago, there was a major conflict between organizations involved in the smuggling of prohibited goods. The number of supplies was sharply reduced in the place where the goods were supplied, and only a few were granted monopoly rights. Suleiman then claims that the conflict flared up on its own, and the knight says that in addition to that, the organizations for which an exception was made incited competitors to revolt. It seems that they prepared carefully. The man at this time thinks that violence and territorial disputes, as well as kings indiscriminately occupying positions, and Ishtar in the center of it all. He is ashamed of his helplessness because he never wanted to let her go and promised to do everything the girl wants. The guy also remembers how the lady then told him the information she heard from Theron. The girl claimed that she heard the conversation between the prince and Roxolana. They were far away, so she did not understand everything, while Suleiman only wonders if the girl was alone in his room. The young lady at this time claims that she is sure that they were talking about transporting some goods to the capital. At first, the Sultan was angry that Togo was there, but the evidence obtained indicates that the disintegration of Dieter was a hoax. It was then that he realized that the person they imagined did not exist, because the truth of this information was confirmed by Ishtar's testimony, and therefore the next target is the goods. The guy also thinks about the 10-day period and understands that they must solve this case before the deadline expires, after which he turns to Evelyn and also tells him to study all the supplies that come into the capital, and if they notice anything suspicious, then let him immediately report it. Also, for a while, let him use all the governor's free labor force in this matter, except for her guards, because they must restore order in the capital within a month. The guy then asks the gentleman if he has a plan, and the man only thinks that his brother was wrong to think that he could manipulate him with such a pathetic trick. A little while later, someone asks if his colleague has heard the news about the temple, to which he replies that of course, because the whole neighborhood is talking about it, it is impossible not to know about this, and he heard that some priest's son with incredible power appeared. Another guy answers that everything is right because everyone is going crazy, saying that this is the incarnation of the goddess. One of them then wonders if the girl really broke the magic stone without any force, and the other claims that at this rate she will become famous, and people will come to the temple. He answers his interlocutor that indeed she seems to have come from Prince Suleiman. At this time, the man who was standing around the corner realizes that wherever he goes, everyone is talking about this girl, and the more rumors spread, the stronger the position of Harem, who is the owner of cats, is strengthened. Against her background, the village of aristocrats will fall, and then she will deprive him of his head without delay, so the man thinks that something must be done to survive.